is brought to you by, for more than 20 years, Country Companies Insurance. You've got the country behind you. The dairy farmers of Illinois and Wisconsin who remind you to drink your milk. It does a body good. And the Toyota dealers of Illinois. I love what you do for me, Toyota.
Well, hello everyone from Assembly Hall. Welcome to the Boys Class A Basketball Preview Show. For this next half hour, we will preview for you the Elite Eight of Boys Class A Basketball in Illinois. Hello everyone, I'm Joe Passion. I'll be your host throughout the tournament this weekend and the Class A Boys Basketball Tournament weekend here at Champaign-Urbana. It looks to be a real feisty one because only a few top teams have made it to the quarterfinals, and that means the Cinderella stories are still very much alive in the small school classic. With me to bring in some insight on the 8 teams that are going to be here, particularly the first game that will be played on Friday at 12:15, McLeansboro against Effingham St. Anthony. First, let me introduce one of the gentlemen on his broadcast journalism trails that has helped follow the McLeansboro Foxes, who have gone 23-10 this year, and Bruce Basil of WFRX Radio in West Frankfort is with us to give us some insight on McLeansboro. And over here on my right, a gentleman that has been following Effingham St. Anthony throughout their tournament drive here to the quarterfinals. St. Anthony 27-4, and with the Bulldogs covering them, Larry Wilson of WCRC Radio in Effingham. First off, Bruce, let's go to you. Talk about McLeansboro. They're going to be the visiting team first time around, and they're a team that has surprised a lot of people just getting here. Tell us a little bit about their road to Champaign.
They have, Joe. They've surprised everyone. The biggest booster that Effingham St. Anthony will have will be Kirk Reed, the McLeansboro coach. He likes to set it up as being the giant killer. He beats Carmi, which had beaten Norris City for their only loss. He comes back and beats ranked Norris City, goes into the sectional, plays ranked Cairo, beats them, beats West Frankfort, then beats second-rated Waterloo Jabot. He loves to knock off giants.
Okay, we'll see as the road to Champaign for the Foxes was one that really was the upset road that you talked about. And you see the scores here on the McLeansboro's road here. Were the biggest surprises, of course, West Frankfort. You already talked to me off camera about how upset and surprised you were, but maybe is this team one of those destiny-ridden teams that get to the tournament here?
They are destiny-ridden in a sense that they have knocked off some big people, but they would not be where they are right now if they didn't play good, solid, fundamental basketball.
Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights here, and we'll see how McLeansboro here in the dark green uniforms, a very scrappy team, a team that's led by number 23, Benji Johnson, who you saw go inside, and you can also see how he plays defense. Tell us a little bit about this ball club.
Benji Johnson is the epitome of the McLeansboro ball club. He shoots 50% from the floor. McLeansboro plays a solid defense. You won't see them getting beat on the transition. As Johnson takes a steal there, they go from offense to defense and vice versa, as well as any team I've seen, Joe.
Well, you've talked about how McLeansboro is a ball club that will make it a point to slow down the game. So I guess you better bring your patience to the first quarterfinal matchup.
Let me give you an example. They played a fast Carroll ball club, tortoise and hare type of matchup. My color man, Rick Westemeyer, counted on 3 straight trips down the floor, passes of 22 times, 25, and then 27 times. You better be ready to play that defense.
Well, that makes it very interesting because the Effingham St. Anthony is a team that likes to play the full length of the court. How do you try and take on the pace, then, that this McLeansboro team may try and slow down St. Anthony to?
I don't know. I heard they only took 16 shots in the first half down in the super sectional the other night, and St. Anthony sometimes takes 16 shots in the first 3 minutes of the game. So,
well, of the Sweet 16 teams, let's take a look quickly here at the road to Champaign, Larry, and how they got here. And as you can see the scores, tell us a little bit quickly about each game.
Well, they defeated Flora in a game that was very close in the sectional semifinal. They ended up winning by 5. It was a 10 to 12-point ball game most of the way. Flora came back, good 3-point shooting team. Then they defeated Newton. Newton's probably the biggest and most rugged team they found on the way to the tournament. An extremely rugged team. They had an 18-point lead, ended up winning by only 2. And then just the opposite happened to Charleston the other night in the Super. Madison led by 19 in the early going. St. Anthony came back and then ended up winning in overtime 82-81.
Well, let's take a look at some video footage of Effingham. They're in the white jerseys, and we'll see a lot of number 44, Tony Bryant.
Tony Bryant, 44, put on an amazing display against Madison the other night, scored 33 points. hit a 3 with 2 seconds to go to send it into overtime, then scored 2 big baskets in the overtime and helped pave the way for the win over Madison. He's just a tough inside ball player. He's only 6'2".
Okay. All right, the matchups first off on the teams, and we'll all look at this and we'll see how the starters match up, and maybe the size of the teams or maybe the quickness will have an advantage. How do you see it?
McLeansboro will have to set up the tempo for this ball game. In every ball game they have played, if they can control the tempo, they can control the basketball game. And the biggest part of that will be Phelps and Benji Johnson. When they get in trouble, look for Johnson. But if you double up on Johnson, watch Roger Phelps. He can stroke the J from 3.
Okay, tallest players on the court are going to be 6'2". Do you see this being an outside perimeter game then, Larry?
I think so. St. Anthony does have a 6'4" kid they can put in and try to go inside, but they can shoot the 3. And like I say, St. Anthony wants to get into a running game, and I don't think McLeansboro will allow that. Okay, guys, we'll find out. Larry, Bruce, thanks so much for being with us. We will be back with the second segment. One of your network sponsors is the Toyota dealers of Illinois.
Ole, 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 ole. The Toyota dealers are doing it. Toyota's hot, 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 hot. Holding their hottest sales event ever. Toyota's hot, hot, hot. With savings on Camry, the most trouble-free.
Pontiac Subaru, the quiet dealer.
Welcome back to our Class A Boys Basketball Elite 8 preview show. And the second game of the quarterfinals on Friday should bring up a real dandy of a basketball game. In fact, it may even turn out to be like a tumbling football game. Both basketball teams come in with state championship football teams behind them, so they're winning ball clubs. The two teams, the visitors, will be the Orangeville Broncos, who come into the game at 25-4 against the Fighting Irish of Seneca with an identical record of 25-4. And with us is Chris O'Brien from Freeport, WFPS Radio, who covered Orangeville all season long, and you're familiar with that ball club. Tell us a little bit first about the team character, and if we indeed need to take the baskets off and put goalposts up for these two.
That's very true, Joe. A lot of character in this team, and they have made the transition well from football to basketball. And they are probably a two-dimensional type of a team with Brian Hildebrand, a 6'7" senior in the middle, does a marvelous job, and then they've got the outside of Matt Hazard, who can light it up from three-point land.
Okay, with the inside-outside game, let's see how they got inside Assembly Hall. And the road to Champaign for the Broncos was an interesting one. Chris, I'll let you kind of run down and give us an idea. A lot of overtime games, so they've made them close.
The last two were overtimes, Joe. They defeated Fulton in the semis of the sectional, and they did that with a lot of ball players under the weather. They had a lot of people with illnesses, and then they went into the sectional final and beat Anawan. They tied it up in a buzzer beater, and Brian Hildebrand scored the winning basket as time was running down. And then Tuesday night against Dunlap, they were trailing the whole ball game, as a matter of fact, until they got to the end.
All right, well, let's take a look at the Orangeville Broncos. They're in the dark blue, and that's the big guy Hildebrand in the middle, 6'7", all-state center, and that's the guy they go inside. But this team can also go outside.
They can go outside with Matt Hazard. They bring in Brad Ills off the bench, and he's an excellent three-point shooter. Judd Pulley hit a key basket to tie the ball game up in super sectional, so they can go both ways.
And when they get close, all they got to do is go back to Mr. Inside, Mr. Hildebrand.
Mr. Hildebrand is an excellent ball player, excellent rebounder. He runs the floor well. He can also shoot from 15 feet and out, too.
Okay, well, that's interesting how, with Hildebrand doing so well in the middle, and obviously Seneca is not a team that's going to try and force the ball inside. They're a team that's going to go outside. Let's first take a look at how the Fighting Irish of Seneca High School got here to Champaign, the second Seneca basketball team to get to Champaign in as many weeks. They knocked off Bishop McNamara, a big score there in the sectional semifinal, and then had a very difficult time with Alana Christian in the sectional final, and a big game against Aurora Central Catholic in the super sectional. proving, like Orangeville has, that when they have to get down to the nitty-gritty in big games, they can win close. And when Seneca wins close, they go afar. They go outside to Mark Aubrey. He's one of 2 Aubrey boys on the team. Mark is the guy in gold here who will bring it back up, and he can shoot the J from all over the court. You'll notice from these highlights, too, is one thing that Seneca is very accustomed to doing, as you see with a lot of basketball teams, when they've got the dead eye from outside, they set the picks for him, and he's great on the runner. And that's where the big part of the Seneca game will come from. They can play defense and then bring it up the court in a hurry, and they'll shoot that outside. Watch the steal here in the transition game in a hurry, and it's all Aubrey. Yeah, he can lay the ball up from close inside, too. You've seen other teams, obviously, like the Seneca team, teams that will put most of their game out in the perimeter. What will the defense of a team like Orangeville come out to try and prevent that?
I think they'll have to, Joe, for the Aubrey boy. They're going to have to put some pressure on him outside, and at the same time, they're going to need some help from the other 4 ball players if they decide to go out and pick him up man-to-man.
Chris, a pleasure having you here. Look forward to seeing you here this weekend. We'll be back with more of the Class A preview in just a moment, but first, this word from our network sponsors, Country Companies.
When my dad died, it was a shock going through all this stuff. I mean, I'm sure he knew where everything was, but to me, it was complete chaos. At least for all our insurance, he dealt with one agent who took care of everything.
Country Companies. It's nice to know when it matters most. The country's behind you.
I guess we're all gonna die sometime. My dad just didn't think it would be so soon.
Toyota dealers, get it this time! Toyota's hot, 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 hot. Their hottest sales event ever. Toyota's hot, hot. Start with 10 models priced under $10,000. Like Toyota Tercel, the lowest priced 2-door sedan in America. Or check out trouble-free Corolla, now with option package discounts that add up to big savings. Toyota's hot. Hurry to your Toyota dealer now. Toyota, more for your money is hot, hot, hot. Toyota.
Hi there, Gary Goodman for Royal Parkway Dodge Jeep Eagle, telling you about the sports car of the 90s, the Eagle Talon. The Talon comes in 3 different models, the Standard, the TSI, and the all-wheel drive. And if you want to leave sportiness and go to off-road toughness, how about our Jeep models? We have the Jeep Wranglers, the Cherokee, the Comanche, and the Grand Wagoneers. So for sportiness and off-road toughness, Royal Parkway Dodge Jeep Eagle, 1600 South Dirksen Parkway is the place to go.
When looking for insurance, small businesses were often treated like a small frog in a big pond. But then came American Family Business Insurance. American Family's reputation for friendly service quickly spread and spread because small businesses prefer to feel like a big frog in a big pond. Isn't that right?
American Family Insurance.
Look in the white or yellow pages for the American Family agent nearest you.
Welcome back to the road to Champaign for the Class A Boys Basketball Finals. When the evening session on Friday begins, it will pit one team that's returning to the tournament, the only team of the Elite Eight that are here, and one team that is still state-ranked, the only state-ranked team that's here in the Elite Eight. And those 2 teams are Pittsfield, the Saukeys 25 and 6 overall, were here last season in this tournament, and Rockford Lutherans Crusaders 28 and 3 are the only state-ranked team here. With us to give us some insight on the Pittsfield Saukeys is Mike Bradshaw, our guest on this segment. Mike is from WBBA Radio in Pittsfield. And Mike, I guess a little bit of insight on Pittsfield. What kind of team do they bring here with their experience from last season?
You're right, Joe. They bring a veteran team. They return 3 starters from last year's Elite Eight team. And they bring a team that, as all Coach Dave Bennett's teams are, stress defense. And that's how they win, with defense.
All right, well, let's find out how they got here to Champaign. And our road to Champaign map tells us that they started off with Virginia, but they didn't have to really travel that far, did they?
No, they really didn't. Virginia, a very tough team, had lost only 4 games this season. Once again, Virginia averaging close to 80 points a game. Pittsfield held them to 31. The North Green game was a rematch. Pittsfield had defeated North Green by 31 early in the season. This one much closer. The Southeastern game, another rematch. Southeastern had defeated Pittsfield about 2 weeks ago, but Pittsfield's D made the difference in the championship.
Well, let's take a look at Pittsfield. They are in the white jerseys, and Baker at 6'5", 190 pounds, is a big force inside. And I guess that's really been their big money guy, the go-to guy.
He's a legitimate repeat all-stater, Joe. Not only inside, but he can step outside and hit the three. In fact, he hit 2 very important three-pointers in the Supers, really the turning point of the game.
And we see also how the Pittsfield Ball Club can really push the ball up, too, and then set up their half-court offense, and they're not afraid to share the ball, are they?
Not at all. Very team-oriented, as all of Bennett's teams are, and that's what he stresses, teamwork and defense.
Fiesel's another one that is not afraid to penetrate. He drives to the hole here on the baseline, gets the foul, and here they are, Pittsfield back at the quarterfinals for the 2nd year in a row, and they'll be taking on a team from Rockford Lutheran. The Crusaders are the only state-ranked team still in this tournament. It's been that kind of a tournament this year. And they have gotten here via beating Marengo first off, and an easy one to open things up. And you can see by the next 2 scores that Rockford Lutheran puts points on the board. They will bring it up hard, and they shoot the basketball. And let's take a look at Rockford Lutheran. In the dark jerseys here, you'll see the team highest ranked in the tournament, and they've got a big kid inside, and Grant Anderson at 6'9", a real force inside, and then they've also got the outside shooters, kids like Tom Goosey, that can put it up from three-point range, and if they can't, they've got people underneath and can get the rebounds. And one thing that you'll see as you watch the telecast of the Crusaders is they are a ball club that doesn't hesitate in bringing the ball down. They look for shots right away, and by all that movement and motion offense, they'll find people underneath the hole, and Goosey can put it up from long range. An inside-outside game, and a lot like Pittsfield in that they share the ball a lot. Let's take a look at the starting lineups and see how they match up man for man. We haven't talked to the coaches, so we're not sure how they'll go, but tell us about Pittsfield, if they'll stay to a man-to-man despite the size difference.
You can bet they'll play man-to-man, Joe. Also, I think one of the keys for the Sockies, they must stay out of foul trouble. They go about 6 deep, and that's it on the bench. Must stay out of foul trouble. They must do a good job on the defensive boards. And if Rockford does put on a full-court press, Pittsfield needs to keep the ball in the hands of Fiesel.
Okay, by the way, folks, Sockies is an old Indian tribe, right, Mike? Did I get that right? Okay, correct. Mike, thanks for being with us. We'll be back with more of our Road to Champaign show, but first, this word from one of our network sponsors, the American Dairy Associations of Illinois and Wisconsin.
Sure you boys will be all right?
Yeah, into overtime.
Ah, the virtues of milk.
Here's the kickoff.
Milk helps supply protein for strong muscles, phosphorus for good hand-eye coordination,
He's wide open, but it's picked off.
calcium for strong bones,
Whammo! And it's an end around. What a play! It's all over. Holy Toledo!
and
Hi,
thiamine
honey. Who won the game?
They did to boost your morale. Milk, it does a body good.
At Friendly Chevrolet this weekend, we're featuring our pre-owned department. We stock over 200 units, and we just made a special purchase from General Motors. These are 1990 GM program cars. They feature the balance of the factory warranty for 36 months or 50,000 miles, and this weekend, a 1990 Cutlass for under $164 a month, or Illumina for under $200. That's at Friendly Chevrolet Geo this weekend.
Brace yourself for impact. A gutsy test of survival on a desolate planet. And a daring sacrifice.
Captain Picard? I may not make it. If he doesn't get water, he's never going to survive.
I'm not gonna let you die. The courage to face death on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Sunday morning at 11 on Fox 55 and 27.
Welcome back to the Road to Champaign as we close out and talk about Game 4 of the Class A boys basketball quarterfinals on Friday. And late Friday night, there'll be 2 more teams that will battle it out to try and get to the semis, and they include the Spartans of Olympia, Stanford High School, who come in at 20-10 overall, against the Bullets of Williamsville, who come in overall at 26-4. And to give us some insight on Olympia from WJBC Radio in Bloomington is Dick Bludke, who will also be an active part of our telecast throughout the weekend. Dick will be doing a lot of the play-by-play of every other game along with Jim Elbrecht, and that should be a lot of fun for you. But let's first talk about this fourth game on Friday. A little bit about Olympia. What kind of team did they bring in, Dick?
They're a team without a star, and none of their players made honorable mention All-State. Their best player, in fact, missed the first 5 games of the year and then was at less than 100% for several games thereafter because of a rather mysterious stomach virus. Kurt Litweiler, but he has come on. Tom Glenn is their other big scorer. They're both primarily inside players, although both can come out and shoot the 3. As a team, they shoot 3s often and accurately, 40% from 3-point territory. They're also, Joe, a very good rebounding team.
That's why they went 6-6 in conference and really got on fire.
They play in a very good league. The Corn Belt Conference produced 3 regional champions this year, 4 2 years ago. Olympia had to beat a couple of those conference champions or conference members from the Corn Belt to get to where they are right now.
All right, well, let's see how they got here to Champaign. They proved they could get through their conference with a 500 mark, and they had some battles, including that normal high.
They came from behind by double-digit margins in both of those last 2 games. In the sectional semifinal game against Flanagan, they were down by, 6 points early and then came back to win. In the sectional championship game against U-High, they trailed by 14 in the 4th period and came back to win by 2. And against Armstrong Potomac, they were down 11 early in the game and came back to win. They also came from a double-digit deficit in their regional championship game. So if they get behind tomorrow, they'll know what to do.
Well, Olympia knows what to do here in the dark uniforms. They already proved they can bring it up, and the guy that you've talked about, Tom Glenn, does a lot of it for them offensively.
He is a good inside player, and there you see him scoring from about 5 feet away. But as I say, he can also go out and shoot the 3. 4 of their 5 starters will shoot 3-pointers fairly often.
Another great thing about Class A basketball, and this Olympia team really exemplifies that, is a lot of motion on offense. Everybody's moving around without the ball.
Exactly, and they'll play a matchup zone defense. They do like to get the ball and run with it. They're not extraordinary in that area, but they can run up and down the floor as well. The guy who just hit the jumper there, Jimmy Ackerson, another good 3-point shooter.
All right, well, the team that they'll be facing against Williamsville is the only team that was unable to get us some video, so I guess you'll have to get a ticket to get out here to the arena or, of course, watch our telecast here on this station to see about Williamsville. Now, Williamsville, coached by Kerry McVickers, is a team that relies on its great quickness, and they are also a team that can't rely on a lot of height. Their tallest player is just 6'2". Their center is 5'9". How did they get to Champaign? Well, you can see here by this graphic that tells you they had to battle their way. First getting by Panna, by 8 in the sectional semi, and then in the sectional final they had to go double overtime before knocking off Riverton, and then in the super sectional they defeated formerly #1 ranked and unbeaten Findlay 62-55. In fact, that game wasn't really all that close, but the fact that they could beat the unbeaten #1 ranked in Class A and get here to the quarterfinals, forget about the lack of height. Watch out for Coach McVickers' quickness of Williamsville. Now, to look at the starting lineups and see how they match up, well, as you'll see by the size of the starters here, they don't really size up all that well. In fact, really, Olympia has the advantage here, Dick.
And rebounding could be a key. Olympia with a +10 rebounding margin, meaning 10 more rebounds per game than the opponent. So Olympia should have an advantage there. Williamsville, from what I'm told, will play a lot of full-court pressure and try to turn this into a full-court game, thereby minimizing the rebounding advantage Olympia should have.
It'll be a full day of great basketball in Class A boys quarterfinals here. We hope you'll see all the games. Well, Dick and I have a few more minutes to close out the show. What really is interesting about this, only the 1-ranked team has made it here, and it seems like in this 20th year now, the Class A and Class AA separations of the tournament, it proves the small schools do have a place by all the upsets in the previous rounds.
And it's tough, I think, Joe, to rank maybe particularly the Class A teams statewide. The people who are doing the rankings haven't seen a lot of the teams, and there are some good teams who can be laying in the weeds at this time of the year. A lot of those teams are here in Champaign right now. It looks like a very wide-open tournament, and it should be fun.
And what also, of course, makes the Class A tournament all so exciting is they usually pack this house. We expect about maybe 12,000, 13,000 people here. That great, I mean this in a tremendously complimentary manner, that small-town mentality when everyone still surfaces around Friday nights and high school basketball gymnasiums. We'll see a lot of it here this weekend.
Oh, that's the beauty of the Class A tournament. These people are in love with these teams, and there'll be a lot of emotion here, however it works out this weekend.
Well, Dick, I look forward to working with you and Jim and Greg, and it should be a great tournament here in the Class A Finals. I'm Joe Passion. Glad you were with us. Stay with us. We've got more basketball coming up on this station over the next couple of days. One of our network sponsors is Country Companies.
Yeah, they all arrived practically at once. Red Cross, National Guard, and the insurance people from Country Companies. You know, nobody's going to forget that Allendale tornado. Half the town was wiped out. But within a day, the people from Country Companies were there with money, getting people back on their feet.
Country Companies. It's nice to know when it matters most. The country's behind you.
They finished when a lot of the other insurance companies were just getting started.
Ole, 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 ole. Toyota dealers are warming things up. Holding their hottest sales event ever. And Toyota's hottest year ever means more value for you. So now catch the savings on Toyota's 4Runner. Get dealer discount.
The University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana, the Illinois High School Association welcomes you to the 20th annual Boys Class A quarterfinal opener. Hello, everyone. I'm Joe Passion, your host here for the entire Class A boys tournament weekend. And the road to Champaign has been an interesting one for these two teams that will start out the quarterfinal matchups here this afternoon. The first team that has a very slow-paced game against the second team with a very fast-paced game. The visiting team are the Bulldogs of St. Anthony of Effingham. The road to Champaign went through the sectional semifinals of Flora, and then two very difficult games to get them here in the quarterfinal matchups, including an overtime one-point win in the Sweet 16 matchup against Madison. Now, Effingham St. Anthony, coached by Dave Bartlett, went 27-4 this year. They are the second smallest enrollment of schools here in the tournament out of East Central Illinois. Now, this is an East Central Illinois town of Effingham that's not going to have a lot of people out in the streets today. They're more inclined to be in their homes watching today's game on television, and by the sounds and looks of things, I think most of this town has already left and are here in the arena today. Earlier in the week, there was Bulldog madness in the hallways at Effingham St. Anthony High School, and it made for a lot of excitement as they got ready for their quarterfinal roundup here. Now, the home team in this first quarterfinal game will be the Foxes of McLeansboro. Foxes doesn't necessarily indicate what kind of team they are because they don't really run. Instead, they're more of a snail team, but they've done it very effectively this year. The road to Champaign was also done slowly but effectively, knocking off Cairo in the sectional semifinal, and then over their former coach at West Frankfort. And the super sectional, a very difficult ball game against Waterloo, but they got here. McLeansboro out of extreme southern Illinois are coached by Kurt Reed. 23-10 coming in here, and McLeansboro is also a town that's got some Fox madness. Yeah, even out in front of the high school, they've got the ribbons and the mascot embled ready for their appearance here. And the cheerleaders are all getting ready. This is a school that you've got to remember won this tournament back in 1984. So when they got on the bus coming to Champaign, tradition came along with the Foxes. We will continue our pregame show here at Assembly Hall in just a moment. This is the Illinois High School basketball tournament. This tournament telecast is brought to you by, for more than 20 years, Country Companies Insurance. You've got the country behind you. The dairy farmers of Illinois and Wisconsin who remind you to drink your milk. It does a body good. And the Toyota dealers of Illinois. I love what you do for me, Toyota.
Illinois Championship High School Basketball is brought to you on Fox 55 and 27 by American Family Insurance. All your family protection under one roof.
I lent my car to my brother, and he demolished it. 2 years old, didn't have a scratch. Funny, about a month before my agent had recommended this extra keeper coverage, $21 more a year. I remember thinking, well, I probably don't need it, but if you think so, it turns out they gave me a brand new car. This year's model.
Country companies. It's nice to know when it matters most. The country is behind you.
Guess it's just a matter of trust.
American Family Insurance would like to remind you of all the reasons for choosing one insurance company over another. The most important reason by far is the service you'll receive when you really need it. Choose wisely. Look in the white or yellow pages for the American Family agent nearest you.
The house is filling up here at Assembly Hall for the Class A quarterfinal game number 1. And handling the booth today, veteran Bloomington Normal announcer Dick Lucky with the play-by-play, and a great high school and former college great at basketball, Greg Sterrick.
Thank you very much, Joe. What a tournament this should be. A lot of underdogs are here. Only one of the 8 surviving teams ranked before the state tournament series began. And in this first game, Greg Sterrick, we have contrasting styles, especially when it concerns tempo.
Well, the tempo of Effingham St. Anthony, they're an up-and-down basketball team. They like to put it up from the outside. On the other side, McLeansboro, a very slow, methodical on the offensive end.
The coach is very aware of tempo. Dave Bartlett, the head man at Effingham St. Anthony, talked to us about that.
Well, we'll try to put some pressure on the ball early going, Joe. I think that one thing that we play well when we go up and down the floor, and we have some pretty good quickness up front, so we're going to try to make some things happen defensively. Maybe that'll help get us going a little bit.
Is this a game where the perimeter game will maybe control the destiny of the winner?
Well, I think a lot of it will have to do with who gets adjusted to this floor the quickest. I know that we're real concerned that if McLeansboro gets out in front of us, it could cause us a lot of difficulty because they can control the ball and limit our possession. So, you know, I really think a key factor is if who adjusts the floor the soonest.
David Bartlett of the Bulldogs, who, Greg, is very happy to have a guy named Tony Bryant wearing one of his uniforms.
Well, Bryant's their leading scorer. He can light you up from the outside, also take you on the inside. Don't be surprised either to see him shoot that 3 from outside. He's had 35 threes, the go-to player for Effingham, Tony Bryant.
Kurt Reed, the coach at McLeansboro, and he too is concerned about tempo. He wants to slow things down to contrast the style of Effingham's St. Anthony's.
That's one of the things that we have on our agenda, is that we're going to have to get back down the floor and stop their penetration. And they really like to get it off the boards and take it down the floor very quickly. Matter of fact is they'll come down the floor, no shot, no pass shot, to a couple passes shot. They really like to do that, convert from one end to the other, and we're going to have to contain that.
How then will the style of the Foxes, with all the passes looking for the right shot, maybe turn this into a high percentage perimeter game?
Well, what we do is we take what the defense gives us, and if indeed they're going to get up and really put the heat on us and give us something down on the floor quick, we're not beyond taking that. And we have all year take what the defense gives us, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
And the player to watch for Kurt Reed's Foxes, Greg, is Benji Johnson.
Well, they've got a balanced attack, but the go-to guy is Benji Johnson. He's their leading scorer. He can hurt you on the inside, but he also can take you on the outside. And the key in the ball game is Johnson on the inside. The matchup, maybe we'll see Bryant on Johnson.
Foxes and the Bulldogs coming up. One of your network sponsors is the Toyota Dealers of Illinois.
Ole, 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 ole. Toyota dealers are doing it. Toyota's hot, 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 hot. Holding their hottest sales event ever. Toyota's hot, hot, hot. With savings on Camry, the most trouble-free compact 3 years running. Toyota's hot, hot, hot. Talking option savings, factory incentives, and easy financing on the best-selling Toyota of all, Camry. Toyota's hot, hot, hot. Toyota, more for your money. It's hot, hot, hot. Toyota.
The Johnsons had an open house tonight, but the guests weren't invited. Luckily, the Johnsons had the Gold Star homeowners policy from American Family Insurance. American Family will repair or replace their house. Great protection on their contents, too. Gold Star Homeowners Insurance, the best protection you have against uninvited guests.
American Family Insurance.
Look in the white or yellow pages for the American Family agent nearest you.
We ask you to stand and join our guest soloist, Cindy Schmidt, a student at Muhammad Seymour High School, and sing our national anthem, as it is played this afternoon by the pep band from Flora High School.
All right.
And now, ladies
Our
and gentlemen,
officials for
introducing
this afternoon's
the coaches
first game,
and players
Donald
for this
DeLue
first
and James
quarterfinal
Sanders, and it's a
game
thrill too great for them
featuring
to be
the
here.
Bulldogs of Effingham St. Anthony, entering this game with a record of 27-4, and
The Bulldogs
Foxes
of Effingham St.
McLeansboro,
Anthony
who
and
have
the
a
Foxes of
23-10
McLeansboro.
record. First,
The Bulldogs
let's meet the
27-4 and
non-starters
McLeansboro's
from St.
Foxes
Anthony.
23
Number 11,
and 10 as we get set for the starting lineups here. And let's listen to Steve Adams, our public address announcer here in Champaign.
5'10" junior Greg Kosek. Number 21, a 5'10" sophomore Chris Tingley. Number 23, a 6'1" senior Pete Busher. Number 25, a 6'2" sophomore Brian Breeding. Number 33, a 6' senior Chris Poe. Number 41, a 5'11" sophomore, Edward Austin. Number 43, a 6' senior, Corey Hartke. Number 51, a 6'2" junior, Jason Cordy. And number 53, a 6'4" senior, Matt Waldoff. And now, here are the non-starters from McLeansboro. Number 3, a 5'10" freshman, Chris Hart. Number 11, a 5'9" sophomore, Jeff Brzezinski. Number 21, a 5'10" junior, Doug Miller. Number 22, a 5'10" sophomore, Jamie Berzinski. Number 25, a 5'8" sophomore, Travis Hall. Number 31, a 5'9" senior, Joey Gray. Number 35, a 5'10" sophomore, Jason Anselment. Number 41, a 5'10" sophomore, Jason Moore. Number 43, a 6'2" sophomore, Jerry Schnicker. And number 53, a 6'1" sophomore, Chase Vickers. And now, introducing this afternoon's starting lineups. At forward for St. Anthony, a 6'2" senior, number 45, Tony Bryant. At forward for McLeansboro, a 6' senior, 42, Jason Hansen. At the other forward for Effingham St. Anthony, a 6'2" junior, 35, Brian Schultz. And at the other forward for McLeansboro, a 6'2" junior, 33, Brian Neal. At center for St. Anthony, a 6'4" junior, number 55, Josh Haney. And at center for McLeansboro, a 6'2" sophomore, number 55, Shane Tennyson. At one of the guards for Effingham St. Anthony, a 6'2" junior, number 15, Christian Willenberg. At one of the guards for McLeansboro, a 6'2" senior, number 14, Roger Phelps. At the other guard for St. Anthony, a 5'11" senior, 31, Bart Willenberg. And at the other guard for McLeansboro, a 6'2" senior, 23, Benji Johnson. And now introducing the coaches. First for Effingham St. Anthony, assistant coaches Mike Haney and Dave Woltman. And the head coach in his 6th season is Dave Bartlett. The coaches for McLeansboro, assistant coaches Randy Smith-Peters and Brad Lee. And the head coach in his 6th season is Kurt Reed.
Although the players who are here have not been here before, these schools have been. McLeansboro state champions in 1984. Back in '78, Effingham St. Anthony finished 4th. Effingham St. Anthony and McLeansboro next. One of your network sponsors is Siva Geigy.
Seems like every day there's something in the news about the environment. People are concerned about the soil and the air and about our water supply. They want to make sure it's safe for their families, safe for the future. I do too, because I work with chemicals. So I use them safely. I never use more than I need, and I keep them away from water sources because I care about my kids and I care about my land.
Brought to you on behalf of the American farmer by the makers of Dual.
Think your new car is protected against rain, snow, salt? Keep thinking. Today's unibody cars have hidden areas that will rust. They need state-of-the-art rust protection. That's why Z-Bart invented new Super Rust Protection. It penetrates seams and crevices, covers areas car makers, car dealers, and others ignore. Covers you with a lifetime warranty and free reapplications. New Z-Bart Super Rust Protection leaves all others in the rust.
Opening game of the 20th Class A basketball tournament here in Illinois. McLeansboro's Foxes against Effingham St. Anthony's Bulldogs. And let's look at the starting lineups and the matchups. One of the keys, Greg, is whether Benji Johnson and Tony Bryant may be matched up against one another.
Well, I look for Benji Johnson early in the ballgame to be matched up with Tony Bryant. But on the other side, I don't look for Bryant to match up with Johnson. But those are the two players to watch. Bryant, the outstanding scorer of Effingham St. Anthony. And from McLeansboro, it's Benji Johnson.
And we are underway. And starting with possession is Effingham St. Anthony as they move it quickly into the front court. That was Bart Willenberg moving it up to the corner. From the top, Tony Bryant. And he missed it from three-point territory as Phelps had the rebound. The Foxes on the move. Jason Hansen scores the first basket of the state tournament. We didn't expect to see the Foxes push it up the floor.
Good start from McLeansboro. Easy outlet pass back the other way, and the Foxes transition basket by Hansen.
At the top now, Tennyson comes out to get the basketball. And inside it goes, and a great block that time by Benji Johnson. Back come the Foxes. This is Phelps with the nice pass over to the other side, and Hansen missed the shot, the rebound. Johnson, and he couldn't tip it in, but now we've got a whistle in our first foul of the game, called by Jim Sanders, as the Foxes are surprising us a little bit by pushing the ball up the floor.
Good effort that time by the Foxes. A good look. The ball goes up on the glass right there. Look at Johnson all over the offensive board. Shot just won't fall. There comes Phelps up over the back. Tries to get the roll, but up over the back. Phelps with a personal foul. Not a surprise. McLeansboro opens the ball game and a very solid, tough man-to-man defense.
Willenberg to the wing to Christian Willenberg. They are cousins, by the way. Here's the drive by Schultz, and he puts it up and gets the roll. Nice take to the bucket by Brian Schultz, the junior, and we're tied 2-2. And a near steal there. Some full court pressure by Effingham St. Anthony. Tony Bryant made the play, and we'll see a lot of that from the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs like to play full pressure. They like to press it out of the man-to-man, and they're swarming defense. They look for that defense to create some easy baskets on the offensive end.
This is Benji Johnson getting it to Phelps, and they'll get it across the timeline here against the pressure as the Bulldogs match up man-to-man. 2-2 here early in the contest, and now a turnover as Phelps pass a little off the mark to Brian Neal, and some early jitters. That's to be expected.
Not a surprise. Both ball clubs a little tight to start the ball game, and Christian Willenberg opened up the ball game against Benji Johnson, not Tony Bryant.
Here's Bart Willenberg driving, forcing it up himself, and almost got his own rebound, but he knocked it out of bounds, and so it belongs to the Foxes.
Tough shot that time by Effingham St. Anthony on the inside. McLeansboro does such a good job giving that weak side help. The shot went up by Bart Willenberg.
Great pass by Benji Johnson. It's Jason Hansen who almost missed the layup, but he gets it. His second basket, and it's a 4-2 lead for the Foxes. As the Bulldogs are in a hurry to get back the other way.
Now the Foxes getting some easy baskets off transition to start the ball game. What a surprise.
Josh Haney, a three-pointer. Bryant, he got it, and it's a lead for St. Anthony, their first of the game, as Tony Bryant hits the three, and he can do that. 32% from three-point range. Now a whistle and a foul in the backcourt against McLeansboro, and the Bulldogs will get the ball right back.
Good play that time by Bryant. And then they got in the double team and created the turnover and looked for the foul. The ball's still going to stay, though, with the Fox. It was for Bryant. That's his 36th three-pointer on the year.
No foul, just a ball knocked out of bounds, and the Foxes have it across the timeline as Roger Phelps moves it into the front court with his team down by 1. This is Brian Neal, and here's Benji Johnson. Nice little dump pass, but it's loose, and now Phelps will try a three. And he missed it off the back iron, and the rebound for the Bulldogs. Tony Bryant coming the other way. Hit a three last time down. This time he shoves it out to Christian Willenberg. And Bart Willenberg with it. Off to Tony Bryant. And way out to get the basketball is Haney. Now Christian Willenberg as they move it carefully this time. Into the corner it goes. And on the move is Brian Schultz, but he lost it. Good job defensively by Brian Neal. Here comes Jason Hansen right by with a great move, and he blew the layup. And the rebound for the Foxes, and Phelps was fouled from behind. Josh Haney, I believe, whistled for the infraction.
It's been the defense of McLeansboro early that's created some easy opportunities. The shot doesn't go by Jason Hansen. Then there's a battle on the inside. Phelps all over the offensive glass, and a lot of McLeansboro players in there banging on that offensive rebound. And Phelps is going to go to the line to shoot free throws for McLeansboro. On the year, Phelps at 63%.
And as a team, McLeansboro 71%, which is outstanding at the high school level. Phelps gets the roll there, and we're tied now. 5-5 the score. We're almost 3 minutes into the opening game. And now 6-5, McLeansboro regains the lead. The Bulldogs of Effingham St. Anthony, coached by Dave Bartlett. Here's Bart Willenberg at the top. Christian with the lob down low to the post player Haney, and he can't get the roll. Boy, they're battling on that board, and we've got another foul on the rebound effort as Phelps and Haney were going at one another, and it looks as though Roger Phelps has picked up his second foul.
Effingham with a size advantage on the inside. Josh Haney at 6'4". He's a big force on the inside. And McLeansboro that time just couldn't control him on the offensive boards.
And so a timeout on the court here with the score 6-5 in favor of McLeansboro. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies.
Yeah, they all arrived practically at once. Red Cross, National Guard, and the insurance people from Country Companies. You know, nobody's going to forget that Allendale tornado. Half the town was wiped out. But within a day, the people from Country Companies were there with money, getting people back on their feet.
Country Companies. It's nice to know when it matters most. The country's behind you.
They finished when a lot of the other insurance companies were just getting started.
Farming is a full-time job, and then some. You need a partner you can depend on, with extra power, with easy maneuverability, and the reliability that only John Deere tractors deliver. No wonder so many farmers like you pick John Deere 45 to 95 horsepower tractors. It's because farmers depend on John Deere.
Good luck to all the Illinois high school basketball teams from these John Deere.
McLeansboro with a 6-5 lead as we see Haney here with the missed shot and now the foul on the rebound.
A real battle on the inside right there, and play getting a little bit physical. Haney with the size advantage there, and Phelps comes up over the top and picks up the personal foul.
Yeah, there's a familiar face, the Illini's Lou Henson.
What a job he's done this year for the Illini.
Yeah, really.
Amazing job.
Not a lot was expected, and the Illini have produced a great year in the Big Ten. That foul earlier against Christian Willenberg. He's the only St. Anthony player with a foul. McLeansboro with Roger Phelps in a bit of trouble with two as St. Anthony gets it in play to Tony Bryant at three, and they can't let him do that, I don't believe, Greg.
Too much daylight that time for Tony Bryant. He just drained that three. Bryant now with 2 3-pointers in the ballgame. St. Anthony on top, 8-6 over the Foxes.
Their first 2-point lead, their biggest lead of the game. Here's Benji Johnson, the guy who makes the Foxes go, and he gets the baseline and takes advantage.
Oh, quick move that time. Quick first step by Johnson on the baseline. Got it up with the left hand, little finger roll for Johnson, knotted up at 8-all.
With the left hand, his first basket. We're tied now here about midway through the first period. The Bulldogs with Brian Schultz, and now up top Haney, down to Bryant. He can do it down low as well, and he gets the roll.
That time they sent Bryant down low to post up on the block, and the pass was delivered to Bryant in scoring position. A little spin move, got it up on the glass for the 2-pointer.
10-8 Bulldogs, and Bryant has 8 of the 10 points for Effingham St. Anthony. Ball knocked out of bounds here by the Bulldogs, who thought maybe they had created the turnover. Phelps, playing with 2 fouls, will put it in play. And Benji Johnson has it up top against the Bulldog man-to-man. And a foul will be whistled there against Willenberg as Phelps tried to make the move to the basket, and Bart Willenberg picks up his first. It's Effingham St. Anthony's second. In high school basketball, you shoot 1 and 1 after 5 of each half.
McLeansboro does such a good job keeping the floor space and keeping the passing lanes open. They like to look inside, but the player they go to is Benji Johnson.
This is Jason Hansen, and he pumps it up to the top to Brian Neal. Now Phelps inside Hansen, and he couldn't get it to go, and a foul on the rebound effort against the Bulldogs, as that may have been a smart foul because Benji Johnson had the lay-in had he not been hammered by Christian Willenberg.
McLeansboro needs to get Benji Johnson involved offensively. He's really not into the flow on the offensive end yet. Look for McLeansboro to start going to him. He's their leading scorer, better than 17 points per ball game. He also shoots 51% from the floor.
As the Foxes here will put it in play, this is Johnson, and he couldn't get that one. Haney had the rebound, then knocked away, and it belongs to McLeansboro.
Good hustling play that time by Johnson. Missed the shot, and he was quick to get the basketball and created the turnover right there, and the ball belongs to McLeansboro.
As it's put in play up to the top to Hansen. Bounce pass to the wing. This is Phelps. He ties the game.
Nice down pick that time. A good delivery of the basketball from Johnson. Phelps squared up to shoulder square, knocked down the 2-pointer.
And the Bulldogs have it into the corner to Schultz. This is Josh Haney. Pete Busher in the ballgame now for the Bulldogs. 6'1", 175-pound senior, as the shot is missed by Willenberg, but the rebound for Haney. And it's a 2-point lead again for the Bulldogs.
Sometimes your best offense, crank from outside and let the big fella go at the glass, and Haney was right there, got the stick back.
6'4", 175-pounder, the biggest guy on the floor, and we're tied once again. Phelps has it up high. High post pass, Hansen, and this is Johnson. He got another one, and he's heating up. He didn't score until just a little bit ago, but now Benji Johnson has a couple of quick baskets. We're tied again, 12-12, as this game remains close here as we head toward the end of the first period. Kristen Willenberg gets it to Tony Bryant. They'll give the big guy Haney a 3-point try. This is Schultz who missed it. And Phelps is on the board for the Foxes, who can now regain the lead. Jason Hansen, though, too far, as Neal was there for the lob. His defender fronting him, but the lob from Hansen to Brian Neal just a little too far.
Didn't really have the angle to deliver that pass. He went for the lob, and no one was home. Turnover, back the other way. Here comes the Bulldogs of Effingham St. Anthony.
I don't know that the weak side defense was there to stop the play. Had the pass been made from the right angle. Busher, the substitute, first sub in the ball game, delivers it back to the top, and Bart Willenberg will restart the Bulldog offense here against the man-to-man from McLean. This is Busher, and he gets the basket to put McLeansboro on top, or put Effingham St. Anthony, rather, back on top.
Nice set play, ran a little down pick for Busher, popped off the pick and hit the two-pointer.
Phelps to the corner, and Hansen will try. He gets another one. Jason Hansen, who is not a big scorer for this team, already has 3 baskets in this one. He does average 12 a game. And now Bart Willenberg with the score all knotted up again here at 14-14. The drive and the shot off the glass. Great play by Tony Bryant, who has 10 points, 10 of the 16 for St. Anthony. The Bulldogs lead it by 2.
Nice leaner that time by Bryant. Found a little seam in the defense, slipped in between, got it up on the window. Nice hoop that time by Tony Bryant.
And there's a reach-in foul by Bryant, who tried to make the steal against Brian Neal, and boy, I don't know if you like to see those kinds of fouls from your star player, Greg.
No, not a good foul. He was too far away from the basket. Bryant went out for the steal, and Bryant has to realize that they go to him. He's their leading scorer. That's the reason why Bryant's not matched up against Benji Johnson. They don't want him to get in any kind of foul problems.
Picks up his first here. It's the 4th against the team, so an inbounds pass for the Foxes. Here's Benji Johnson, and a 3 by Neal. Bounces hard off the rim and comes to Phelps. And his shot is a little strong, but Benji Johnson is there. And we are tied once again, 16-16. Neither team is led by more than 2 points here through the first 7 minutes of the game. Bart Willenberg up top. And this is Pete Busher. Josh Haney holds it, delivers it to the corner, and Willenberg looks it over from there. He gets the baseline, and now there's contact and a whistle, and a blocking foul is called against Hennison of the Foxes. First on him, 3rd on the team, as Kurt Reed looks on. It will be put in play, the foul before the shot. There's David Bartlett of Effingham St. Anthony. As the ball goes to Haney, and here's the skip pass to Bryant, and the baseline jumper, Schultz, puts St. Anthony back on top.
Bryant got all the attention outside, and he dumped it down low inside. Schultz delivered the two-pointer.
Now the full court pressure by the Bulldogs, which we saw earlier, and the Fox is able to break it here. At the top is Benji Johnson. We have 23 seconds to play in the period. It may be the Foxes will wait for the final shot, on which they could tie the score. Right now, 18-16 Bulldogs. And we're down to 15 to play here in the first period. Benji Johnson using a screen. Now into the lane. Nice pass, but Hansen wasn't ready for it. And with 8.5 seconds to play in the first period, Effingham St. Anthony, Greg, has a chance here to get a nice shot.
Good idea, though, by Benji Johnson. Nice look inside. He thought Hansen was going to the basket. Wasn't there. Bulldogs do have an opportunity. Look for Bryant maybe to get the last shot.
Willenberg forces it in, and the shot put up not good by Haney. And the first period is history here in the opening game of the state tournament. It is 18-16 St. Anthony. One of your network sponsors is the Toyota Dealers of Illinois.
Ole, 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 ole. Toyota dealers get it this time. Toyota's hot, 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 hot. They're hottest sales event ever. Toyota's hot, hot. Start with 10 models priced under $10,000. Like Toyota Tercel, the lowest priced two-door sedan in America. Or check out trouble-free Corolla, now with option package discounts that add up to big savings. Toyota. Hurry to your Toyota dealer now. Toyota, more for your money is hot, hot, hot. Toyota.
Something new coming out every year. They're always changing something. Some old farmer told me one time, a fool never changes his mind. So sometimes you have to do things different. Maybe instead of doing it the same old thing every year, the same old way, you have to change. If you don't, you're going to be down on the bottom.
Last year officiating the Class A tournament was Tom Bryant, the father of star St. Anthony player Tony Bryant. Well, Tom was scheduled to officiate in Game 2, but he couldn't do it because his son's playing. He seemed to be more nervous wearing red rather than stripes.
Well, that's true. There's some merit to that. It's much easier being a player or an official as opposed to sitting here in the stands watching your son play. But I wouldn't want it any other way. I'd rather be in the stands and be out there right now and let him be there.
Now let's get back to the second quarter.
There's a look at Tony Bryant, who has scored 10 points thus far, and Tom Bryant is happy about that. Bryant 4 of 5 from the floor. 2 of those baskets were three-pointers. He was 2 of 3 from three-point range. Score was tied 6 times in the first quarter. Bulldogs start with the possession and the 2-point lead. If they score here, it'll be the biggest lead for either team. Nobody up by more than 2 in that hot first period. Here's the pass down low to Tony Bryant, and he did a good job to get that shot away, but it was partially blocked. It looked like Neal may have been the one who got a piece of that, and back come the Foxes looking for the equalizer. Hansen up top to Phelps, and running through the lane is Neal, and his shot partially blocked. The follow, no good, and a great battle for the board, and it's Tennyson who missed it, and now we get the whistle. And I believe somebody was on the back that time of one of the Bulldogs. McLeansboro doing an excellent job, though, going to glass, offensive end and defensive end. In the rebounding department, 14 for McLeansboro and only 2 for St. Anthony. That's a little bit surprising because St. Anthony plus 5.5 on the boards during the season, whereas McLeansboro was plus 1, meaning they only got 1 more rebound than the opponent on the average during the season. The Bulldogs will put it in play with the 2-point lead as Kurt Reed, although he has a 2-point deficit, has that big rebounding edge. Here it comes to Bart Willenberg, and down to Bryant it goes. He turns on Benji Johnson, who's now guarding him, in a little bit of a switch on the matchup, and Benji picks up his 2nd foul, so that's an early key here. That's something to keep our eye on.
Bryant spends a lot of time at that free throw line, Dick. He goes to that line because he has the ability to hurt you from outside, but also post you up down low. And Bryant, a 74% free throw shooter, 161 of 217 on the year.
That is the first foul, against Benji Johnson, as the throw here is good by Bryant, who has his 11th point. Dave Bartlett looking at his star player, Tony Bryant, attempt another free throw. 3-point lead now for St. Anthony. And he can make it 4, and he does, and that's the biggest lead for either team here so far in this game. As Jason Hansen works against the pressure, this is Benji Johnson, and we've got another foul, and is that against Bryant? Bryant and Willenberg were both there. And it's going to go against Tony Bryant. That's 2 on him. And 5 on the team, so a 1-on-1 opportunity here for Benji Johnson, who is a good free thrower as well, 82% from the line.
And if you're Coach Dave Bartlett, a little concerned at this point. A good look there at Kurt Reed, and he's happy that Bryant picked up that 2nd personal foul. On the other side, Coach Bartlett very concerned that his star player picked up that personal foul.
Benji Johnson missed 8 games this year, 4 because of mononucleosis, 4 more with an injury, and that's the time when McLeansboro struggled. They come into this tournament with 10 defeats. Only one other team has that many among the 8 who are left. Benji Johnson's free throws cut the lead to 2. 20-18. Effingham St. Anthony with the lead and the ball here in our opening game in Champaign. Bart Willenberg, an honorable mention all-stater. And the pass is tipped and stolen. Great play by Shane Tennyson of the Foxes. And back comes McLeansboro, looking now to tie. Hansen looked inside the Johnson, couldn't get it to him. And this pass goes to Phelps on the wing. Here's Benji Johnson, likes to use the baseline, and he drew the foul that time. on Busher. And that's his first and the team's sixth as we watch the baseline move here by Benji Johnson.
Good ball move by McLeansboro. They're going to the go-to guy, Benji Johnson. Little pump fake, little move there, looking for the leaner, looking for the two-pointer, but Johnson was fouled on the play, and at 82%, that's the guy you want at the charity stripe if you're McLeansboro.
He just made a couple, and he can tie the score with 2 more, and he gets that one, and we haven't had a missed free throw yet. Collectively, the teams are 7 for 7. They shoot the ball like Greg Sterrick from the free throw line.
This guy's got a nice touch at the stripe.
As the throw is good by Benji Johnson, my colleague, if you don't know, the NCAA record holder for career free throw percentage, and he enjoys seeing 8 out of 8 so far from the line as we're tied once again. Josh Haney finds Bryant, who's been the offense so far for Effingham St. Anthony. Here's Busher off the bench and missing that one, and Jason Hansen collars the long rebound. He may get a free one out of this. It's blocked from behind beautifully, but the foul down low with the body by Brian Schultz.
Jason Hansen on the dribble drive. A good quick play by Hansen, comes up with a steal. Look at Hansen off to the races. Right there. Tries to use his body, get the defender off, just couldn't get the job done. He was fouled on the play, and Hansen's going to go to the line to shoot free throws. From McLeansboro, they're 6 of 6 from the line. I like the tempo of the ball game. McLeansboro pushing up and down the floor very quickly, and that's a little bit of a surprise. Hansen knocks in the free throw. McLeansboro now 7 of 7.
And Kurt Reed said, Greg, that he takes what the defense gives him, and certainly Hansen did a good job of doing that right there. That rebound came long, and he took advantage of it and gets 2 free throws out of it. McLeansboro has now scored 6 points in a row, and they have regained the lead. 22-20 Foxes here. 6:12 to play in the half. Willenberg to Schultz. And he'll take the shot off the dribble and miss it terribly. It's an air ball, and oh, the Foxes fought one another for the rebound as Tennyson and Neal got tangled up there, and another opportunity for St. Anthony.
McLeansboro doing such a good job on the boards. Didn't come up with a basketball there, but they had all the right inside positions.
Well, they got it inside to the right guy. St. Anthony did that time, and Tony Bryant has 14 of his team's 22 points. We're tied once again. Brian Neal starts it at the other end here for the McLeansboro Foxes. Tough pass to handle there, but Johnson did it. He goes baseline again, and boy, with that quick first step, he's drawn another foul on Pete Busher. He is tough to handle man-to-man.
Oh, he's so good with the basketball. He can't only hurt you. He's got a nice pull-up jumper, but he also can put it on the floor and just blow by you on the dribble drive. And that was the case right there. Johnson was fouled on the play. Once again, Benji Johnson going to spend some line at that free throw.
Christian Willenberg back in the game, and Brian Schultz sits down now for St. Anthony. As Benji Johnson, who is 4 out of 4 from the stripe, will shoot it up again here. Boy, isn't that amazing? We have not yet had a missed free throw from either team. McLeansboro has now been to the line 9 times. And they lead by 1.
That shouldn't surprise you. McLeansboro shoots 71% on the year.
These are both pretty good free throw shooting teams. St. Anthony at 67% as it's a 24-22 lead now for the Foxes. 12 points for Benji Johnson. Here's Busher against Phelps. And a three-pointer by Willenberg way off. The Bulldogs settling for the long shot, and they're not going down.
And they're only getting 1 shot, too.
Here's the drive by Neal. Baseline. Oh, Benji Johnson had a wide-open 12-footer. He thought about it and then thought better of it and crossed himself up, Greg.
Well, he walked with the basketball, and they also had a 3-second call in the lane. So if he had it jumped up and knocked down the shot, they were going to wipe it off.
Well, that makes it less painful then, huh?
True.
This is Bart Willenberg. And Busher to Johnson. They want to find him, or Bryant rather. They want to find him. Here's the shot rolling, no good for Josh Haney, and another board for the Foxes. They own the boards, especially on the defensive end.
Well, 16 rebounds from McLeansboro and only 3 for Effingham St. Anthony. That's lopsided.
Brian Neal with it. Despite the big difference on the boards, it's a 2-point lead for McLeansboro as Jason Hansen threw that one too far inside for Benji Johnson. And we're going to take a break here with 4:42 to play in our first half. A very competitive game. McLeansboro up by 2 over St. Anthony. One of your network sponsors is the American Dairy Associations of Illinois and Wisconsin.
Sure you boys will be all right?
Yeah.
Into overtime.
Ah, the virtues of milk.
The kickoff.
Milk helps supply protein for strong muscles, phosphorus for good hand-eye coordination,
He's wide open, but it's picked off.
Calcium for strong bones.
Whammo! And it's an end around. What a play! It's all over. Holy tomato!
And thiamine
honey. Who won the game?
they did to boost your morale. Milk, it does a body good.
Farming is a full-time job, and then some. You need a partner you can depend on, with extra power, with easy maneuverability, and the reliability that only John Deere tractors deliver. No wonder so many farmers like you pick John Deere 45 to 95 horsepower tractors. It's because farmers depend on John Deere.
Good luck to all the Illinois high school basketball teams from these John Deere dealers. This has been a close one all the way right now. As you see, McLeansboro by a couple with 4:42 to go in the first half. Big edge on the boards for McLeansboro, but St. Anthony finding a way to get around that so far.
Well, the edge is McLeansboro, 17 rebounds and 3 for Effingham St. Anthony. We had a 2-point ball game at the end of the first quarter, 18-16. Effingham on top, and it was 6 straight points by McLeansboro, and they were able to take that lead. McLeansboro has turned it over 5 times compared with just 2 for the Bulldogs, and that's helped St. Anthony stay in the picture. Bulldogs have the ball with a chance to tie. Good duck underneath move by Bryant, who missed it short off the glass, and that's Jason Hansen with another McLeansboro rebound. The Foxes by 2 with the ball. Inside Neal in traffic. He had it punched away. A near save in by Bryant, but it comes to the Foxes. And now the whistle blows that shot dead. 3 seconds called against McLeansboro. And Kurt Reed is wondering about that call, because his question is, Greg, did they have possession during that 3 seconds? Turnovers, McLeansboro with 6 and Effingham St. Anthony with 2.
As Bart Willenberg comes back the other way for the Bulldogs. Here's Haney. Bryant to Busher, and he traveled. Well, the Bulldogs having trouble getting offense from someone other than Tony Bryant. And indeed, Dave Bartlett, who you see right there, did talk about the key in terms of balanced scoring. You referred to it in our pregame chat, Greg. They need somebody else besides Bryant to step forward and score, and so far nobody's done that.
Well, Bryant leads the way with 14 points.
14 of their 22. Foxes break the half-court trap and do it beautifully as Neal gets the nice shot, but not the roll. However, the follow by Shane Tennyson, his first basket. McLeansboro with its biggest lead of the day. 4-point advantage. And we're down to 3:40 to play in the first half. Into the game for Effingham St. Anthony now, Matt Waldoff. He just had the ball, 6'4" senior, and he has it now, but it's a bad pass. It's picked off by Phelps. And he missed it, and Waldoff hustling down to make up for his mistake and get the board. Here's a 3 by Bryant, and he hit it off the dribble. That's a tough shot, and that puts the lead down to 1.
Big swing right there. Phelps had the layup, couldn't convert. Back the other way quickly for the Bulldogs. Bryant, and I talked about that, he'll step up and knock down that 3 off transition. Did just that. 17 points for Bryant.
To be able to shoot it off the dribble, off the quick dribble like that, keep control up in the air is quite a task. Here's Benji Johnson, and he builds the lead back to 3. We talked about Johnson and Bryant. Benji with 14 points, Tony Bryant with 17. Quite a duel between those two as Busher misses the 3 and hustles for the rebound. Great save in, and the Foxes get it, and Hansen has a free one here. And it is now a 5-point lead, biggest of the game.
Easy one. Hansen on the receiving end gets the 2-pointer for McLeansboro.
But give Roger Phelps credit. He made the great behind-the-back save in, which triggered that play. 2.5 now to go in the half. As Matt Waldoff skips the pass to the side, here's the man for St. Anthony, but he missed that time. Bryant missing the 3. And the Foxes ever present on the glass. Hansen with the board that time. This is Brian Neal for McLeansboro. Roger Phelps to Benji Johnson. Johnson matched up with Busher off the bench, playing some pretty good defense for the Bulldogs. Jason Hansen, McLeansboro very patient now. They'll go to the hole when they've got the opportunity, but when they're in their half-court offense, they are very patient.
They're going to move the ball maybe 12, 15 times on the offensive end. Each pass, they step in a little bit closer, and they spring somebody down in that lane area for an easy one down low.
wear down that defense eventually. Here's Phelps with it up top against Bart Willenberg. Jason Hansen with a move, but it wasn't there, and so he backed it out and starts the offense over again. We're down to 1:18 to play in the first half, 30-25 McLeansboro. This one has been very close all the way. This, in fact, the biggest lead of the game for either team. Earlier, St. Anthony had a 4-point advantage. And now we're almost into the final minute of the first half here of our opening game in the Class A state tourney. The Foxes of McLeansboro and the Bulldogs of Effingham St. Anthony. Tennyson holding it and has to put it on the floor now and gets rid of it just in time to Johnson, who gets by Busher. They've got a 5-on-4, and they'll take the shot from the corner, and there it is.
What a big shot. Big shot, good ball movement, playing with confidence on the offensive end. Brian Neal bangs down a big one for McLeansboro.
7-point lead for the Foxes. Half-minute to play here in the half. The Bulldogs need a bucket. Bart Willenberg and Pete Busher with it. They are apparently going to hold it here for the final shot. Or are they? Here's Willenberg getting inside and drawing the foul. Good move to the bucket. He'll get himself to the free throw line for a couple of opportunities here.
Dry spell for Effingham. They scored their last hoop at the 3:12 mark, and now we're down with 22 seconds left, so give McLeansboro some credit on the offensive end.
Brian Neal picked up the foul. It's his first. It's the fourth. No, I'm sorry. It's the 6th against the team, but 2 shots here anyway because Willenberg fouled in the act of shooting.
I think we better credit McLeansboro's offense, but also their defense. That's what I was trying to say. I was still thinking about how well they executed on the half court to spring Brian Neal for that jumper. And then I came right back and talked about the dry spell of the Bulldogs, but credit the defense of McLeansboro.
There's the first missed free throw of the game after Willenberg made the first effort. 32-26 now, and the Foxes have a chance to build the lead here in the final 15 seconds. This is Benji Johnson with 12 to play. Uses the double screen. He can't use it too well. Now with 6 to go, he fires it in.
Oh, spin move. Benji Johnson knocks into 2.
And a steal, and Phelps will get it off in time. No, and that's the end of the first half. But what a great end for the Foxes of McLeansboro, who go to the locker room with their biggest lead and with a lot of momentum. 34-26, McLeansboro over Effingham St. Anthony. What a fine finish to that first half for the Foxes.
Oh, big play by Benji Johnson. He's the go-to guy for Johnson. He gets 16 first half points. And a little spin move. He gets up so high on that jumper. Picture perfect jumper. Nice release. Nothing but the bottom of the net for Benji Johnson. A good run for McLeansboro. They go in at halftime with an 8-point lead.
And let's go now to Joe Passion.
All right, thanks very much, Dick. With me, Coach Dave Bartlett, a ball club that's kind of going back and forth. We're seeing the momentum change. How do you hope to keep it in your hands when you come out the other way or get it back?
Well, we got to get a rebound at the defensive end. I don't think we've got more than 1 or 2 rebounds down the defensive end. They're controlling the game tempo-wise for sure. We just haven't been able to get the ball off the glass. They either score off a rebound or shoot free throws. So we got to do something defensively.
You've talked about how controlling the tempo, whether it's coming out of the first opening tip-off or coming out of the locker room in the 3rd quarter, is going to be imperative to winning. How do you think you can change yours?
We just have to come out and play a little bit harder nose than we did first half, I think. And not get frustrated. There's still plenty of time left, but we have to continue to take good shots. And I think the key to the second half is if we can start putting a little bit more pressure on them out front.
All right, Dave, thanks so much. Have a great second half. All right, we'll send it back over to Dick and Greg.
Well, at one point, Joe, Effingham St. Anthony had a 4-point lead, but they're down 8 at the intermission, 34-26. We're off to a good start here at the Class A tourney. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies.
When my dad died, it was a shock going through all this stuff. I mean, I'm sure he knew where everything was, but to me, it was complete chaos. At least for all our insurance, he dealt with one agent who took care of everything.
Country Companies. It's nice to know when it matters most. The country's behind you.
I guess we're all gonna die sometime. My dad just didn't think it would be so soon.
We want to leave the land like we found it.
It's good, if not better.
So we're worried about the environment, too. You know, we want to keep the water good and soil in nice shape. We want to try to cut down on erosion and things like that.
I've always heard this expression, you own land. Well, the good Lord has just made us a caretaker of that land while we're here. That's all it is. You don't really own it.
go now to our tournament scrapbook, our special in-depth look at the tournament, and this being the 40th year on television for the Illinois High School Association basketball tournament. We've had a lot of great moments over the years, but who could forget the very first televised championship game that featured the mighty Green Giants of Little Hebron High School.
This was the moment the Sweet 16 came to life for hundreds of thousands of high school basketball fans. Saturday night, March 22nd, 1952, Hebron versus Quincy for the state title of Illinois. The first championship game on television. Jack Dries was at the play-by-play microphone with Chick Hearn.
Quincy is out in front, the white-shirted Quincy team by 1 point. Long pass down the floor to Charlie Fast. Defense drops back quickly enough to keep him from going all the way. Gower takes it over in the corner and then pegs it out into the backcourt. And now Dick Thompson has the ball, and again on the man-to-man defense, Quincy goes into that under the basket weave, and Charlie Fast drops one in to push Quincy out to a 3-point margin, 37.
Until this date, high school basketball fans had to be extremely lucky or know the right people to get one of the 6,900 tickets to Huff Gym if they wanted to see the tournament, or else they had to be content with listening in on the radio. Harry Fitzhugh, then Assistant Secretary of the Illinois High School Association, knew television would bring the game to hundreds of thousands of fans who wanted to see the tournament.
And there was some concern in the beginning that if we began to televise, people would stay away because they could sit at home and see the game on television, or the games rather. But it turned out to be just the opposite. It whetted the appetite of people.
The title game was a matchup for the books. Perennial power Quincy and All-American Bruce Brothers against the little David that captured the imagination of not only Illinois, but the entire country, Hebron. Hebron, located along the Wisconsin border, had just 96 students, but Coach Russ Ahern had molded 5 boys into a unit who could compete with anybody. Ken Spooner, Don Wilbrandt, 6'9" Bill Schultz, and the Judson twins, Paul and Phil, played virtually every minute of every game. The game itself ended in regulation at 58-all to set up the first overtime in a title game. Schultz put Hebron up to stay with the short bank. And when Paul Judson went to the line with seconds remaining and Hebron up 64-59, the dream was complete.
Because of the first televised state tournament game, many people bought their first television set. I've had many people tell me that if it wasn't for you playing, Hebron playing in the state tournament, we might not have had a TV quite so soon.
I've had people in the hospital say they've had operations, and that's the first thing they asked for was the TV so they could watch the state championship trophy several times. And people would congregate, you know, they'd plan the championship party around the TV set for that evening.
Yes, the Judsons and Hebron not only sold television sets, but sold the state of Illinois on high school basketball for everyone. Jeff Davis for Tournament Scrapbook.
Well, thanks to the Judson twins and their Hebron teammates, television and high school basketball have made great teammates of their own, and they're entirely here to stay. We're at the half, McLeansboro by 8. Now let's break for these local messages.
The evolution of the minivan is now complete.
$500 cash back from your Central Illinois Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Prairie Farms invites you to enjoy the best of the lighthearted dairy treats. There's light sour cream with 40% less fat, and Trim and Light low-fat cottage cheese. Prairie Farms Trim and Light yogurt, 99% fat-free. And light premium ice milk, silky smooth and 95% fat-free. And an old standard, skim milk. Enjoy them all to your heart's content.
We are through the first half of our opening game at the Class A state finals here in Champaign, and McLeansboro has the 34-26 lead over Effingham's St. Anthony. The real key so far, Greg Sterick, has been the boards for McLeansboro.
Well, McLeansboro the definite advantage there, 23-4 rebounding edge, but I thought also McLeansboro an excellent job of handling the pressure defense of Effingham. They really did a good job there, and of course the two marquee players, Bryant and Benji Johnson. They played big in the first half, and Bryant gets 17, but Benji Johnson, he gets 16. So those two players
good first halves, but also in the free throw department. The free throw line, McLeansboro was 10 of 10 from the line, but most of all, they handled the pressure defense of Effingham, and they did a tremendous job on the glass. Big rebounding edge for McLeansboro.
And so the Foxes have the 8-point lead and will return after these messages from your local station.
It's March Madness at Harrison Motor Sales, Lincoln Mercury Dodge in downtown Taylorville. See the Harrison Motors teams for deals right now.
Get your right car at the right price during March Madness at Harrison Motors and choose from our court full of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and vans.
The Harrison Motor Team has a full line of Lincoln Mercurys and Dodges at March Madness prices. Our game plan is to help you score like never before.
It's March Madness at Harrison Motors, Lincoln Mercury Dodge in downtown Taylorville.
The results are in. America has voted overwhelmingly for round 2 of Star Search. This week, see why Star Search is the #1 music and variety show again on television. If you thought round 1 couldn't be topped, wait till you see the new talent happening on round 2. It all adds up to a total E for entertainment. Take a $100,000 look this week.
All right, well, let's just go ahead and take a look at my latest Star Search fashion video.
The entertainment has just begun on Star Search 91.
McLeansboro leads it 34-26 at the end of the first half. It was a very entertaining first half. Great rebound work by McLeansboro, and as you said earlier, Greg, big scoring by Tony Bryant and Benji Johnson.
Well, both those players played awful good in the first half, and this game was always billed to be. Tony Bryant, Benji Johnson, outstanding players. And we saw some great play, especially out of Tony Bryant from the outside. Just springs up right there, looking to dish inside. Nothing there. Decides to throw up a 3. Bottom of the net, Tony Bryant drains a 3 right there. They're showing Bryant the defense of Effingham St. Anthony. A big basket by Bryant. Back the other way. 23, Benji Johnson. A little quick step, a little baseline move. Leaner, left-hand finger roll. Basket by Benji Johnson by McLeansboro.
Tony Bryant then with a driving lean-in jump shot. He can do it from three-point range, but he can also do it inside.
Well, he found a little seam in the defense right there, but who else? Tony Bryant, a little kiss off the glass, 2-pointer. That's off transition right there. Bryant throws in another 3-pointer. Who else do we see in the highlights but Tony Bryant? And we go back the other way. Who do we see on the other end for the Foxes? Benji Johnson, a little leaner right there. The shot goes up. Nothing but net again for Benji Johnson.
That was the start of the surge, or kind of the middle point of the surge for McLeansboro. That one put them up by 3, and they built the lead eventually to 8. 34-26 is where we stand right now. As you see, McLeansboro shooting it a little bit better, but really doing the damage on the boards. That's the outstanding stat in this ball game. And free throws also in favor of McLeansboro. Turnovers pretty much a wash, but Effingham St. Anthony must get on the boards in the second half. Let's go now to Joe Passion.
All right. Thanks very much, Dick. With me is the McLeansboro head coach, Kurt Regis, fresh out of the locker room. An 8-point lead, I guess, isn't safe on this floor.
Well, we're happy to be where we're at. That's definitely true.
Do you continue to hit the rebounds? You feel that the glass right now is what's going to possibly bring you a W here?
We're definitely screening out every time and going to the boards. I think they only had 1 or 2 offensive rebounds, maybe a total of under 5 total rebounds. So we've got to keep the heat on defense, do a little better job on our jump switching down at the other end, and keep them off of the boards. If we do that and show a little patience when we do not have the break, at least we've got a chance.
All right, Kurt, best of luck here in the second half. Now let's send it back over to Dick and Greg.
We're about a minute away from the second half, Joe, and we will return for second half action between McLeansboro and Effingham St. Anthony after these messages from your local station.
Sunday, Keenan does one of his famous impersonations and comes face-to-face with the real thing.
Who are you? I'm Billy D. Williams.
Don't miss In Living Color.
I am confusing.
And they're not searching for intelligent life.
Isn't it funny how UFOs always visit idiots?
They're not here for our women.
You sure you don't want the redhead for your intergalactic zoo?
What they want are Al's socks.
Live long and prosper.
Sunday at 7 on Fox 55 and 27.
Hi, Gary Goodman, Royal Parkway Dodge, where safety is standard at Royal Parkway, like the new Dodge Spirit, which has a passenger side airbag and rear seat child protectors. Next, if you go into safety and you go into power, we have the new Dodge trucks, like the Dodge Dakota. We also have half-ton and three-quarter-ton models, and you can still get a diesel engine on our new Dodge trucks. So whether it's safety or power, we've got them all at Royal Parkway Dodge, 1600 South Dirksen Parkway in Springfield.
McLeansboro by 8 as we get set to start our second half of play. Individually, as far as scoring is concerned, we've talked about the two dominant players in this ball game. Tony Bryant for Effingham St. Anthony, and nobody else, Greg, scoring very well.
No, they need someone to step up and give him a little help. Schultz gets 4, Busher with 2, and Haney gets 2.
And on the other side of the ledger, 16 from Johnson, but Jason Hansen helping out with 10 points and some other help as well.
Well, Phelps with 4, Neal with 2, and Tennyson with 2. And I thought Hansen had a nice first half. Benji Johnson gets 16, but Hansen a good job also from McLeansboro. Tony Bryant 6 of 10 from the field, 3 of 5 3-point line for a total of 17 points.
And Benji Johnson with a good first half as well. 6 for 6 from the line and 4 rebounds. He's contributing in that area as well as the Foxes here start the second half with the basketball and the 8-point lead as Phelps has it for McLeansboro. This is Neal and now Benji Johnson. Brian Neal has a 3. Oh yeah. It is now an 11-point lead for the McLeansboro Foxes.
Neal just stepped up, showed a lot of confidence, knocked down the 3 in the matchup that time down the floor. Bryant was matched up on Benji Johnson. Keep in mind, Bryant's playing with 2 personal fouls.
Boy, a near steal there by Phelps as he tipped the ball, but it was handled nicely by Busher, who starts the second half. That's an off-balance shot by Bart Willenberg, and the Foxes with the 11-point lead are threatening to really take control as Johnson with a great pass, but it was off the leg of the hustling Tony Bryant, who got back on defense. This is a critical juncture in the ball game for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, very important. Always the first 3 or 4 minutes when you start into that third quarter. Very important for Effingham, but you can't panic. You know, there's a lot of time left. You just got to whittle away and kind of just chip away at the lead. And immediately on the defensive end, Effingham turns up the heat defensively and creates a turnover. There's Kurt Reed very, very upset with that particular play.
Well, a little bit of a lazy pass, although the passing lane was blocked, and the Bulldogs have it. And this is Schultz trying to create it himself, and he couldn't do it, but he gets the offensive rebound, and that's been a rarity for St. Anthony as Schultz gets the putback basket. First score of the second half for the Bulldogs, who are back to within 9, and now use the trapping, pressing defense. Tennyson has it in the front court for the Foxes.
Press wasn't really a factor in the first half. McLeansboro did an excellent job handling the pressure defense.
Phelps wanted to pass it. I don't know that Hansen was ready for it, as it was very well disguised as a shot. Bulldogs wind up with the ball, and this is Bryant, and he'll go to the free throw line. And it's Benji Johnson who committed the foul, and that's 2 on him.
And you can just feel the tempo starting to pick up. That's the liking of Effingham St. Anthony. That time back the other way, and they were looking to go to Bryant. Good quick move by Bryant. Bryant felt like he was going to get an opportunity to shoot free throws. He was fouled on the drive. It looked like to me, and I don't think he's going to go to that line.
Dave Bartlett, I don't believe, is happy with that call as St. Anthony will inbound it. Pete Busher. Lob into the big guy Haney, and he shoots it over Neal and misses another one. And the Foxes are on the move, and this is Hansen again, and a good defensive play, although it is off the Bulldog player, Bart Willenberg. But he did a good job to hustle back and prevent the easy basket.
And McLeansboro, a good job pushing the ball up the floor quickly into beat pressure defense. If you can push the ball up the floor before they can get set, you've got an opportunity, Dick.
9-point lead Mcleansboro. They were up 8 at the half. We're just underway here in the third period, about a minute and a half into the third quarter.
The matchup inside, Bryant really matched up down low with Benji Johnson. Those two guys really going at it, play very physical on the inside.
Schultz made the defensive play there, and Bryant missed the shot, but the follow is missed. Haney had a great opportunity, or that was Busher rather, who missed the layup. However, we do have a foul called on the Foxes.
Effingham, though, much more aggressive when they're going to glass here in the second half. The shot goes up, hangs around, bounces around. Right there, a good effort going back up on the glass by Busher, but I like the play here of the way Effingham's going to the glass.
And another foul whistled against the Foxes. This one on Brian Neal, who picks up his second.
In the first half, McLeansboro was the aggressor on the offensive end and the defensive end. And here to start the second half, a little shift with the Bulldogs of Effingham becoming the aggressor, especially on the glass here early in the second half.
Bulldogs with another opportunity here, down by 9. They get it into the man, and Bryant spins it no good. And we're going to get a held ball on the rebound effort. It will go to McLeansboro. 5:58 left, third period. Foxes lead 37-28 here in the opening game of the Class A tournament. Orangeville and Seneca are next. Two schools who recently won state football championships. We'll do it here in Champaign on the basketball floor. This is Benji Johnson. Roger Phelps way up high as Johnson went to the floor. Neal can hit the three, but he didn't take it there. Phelps also a pretty good three shooter inside to Johnson, and he wouldn't get the roll. And a defensive rebound for the Bulldogs, which is what they need more of. Bryant for three. And he gets nothing but the rebound for Schultz. And boy, you can say that St. Anthony is on the boards here in the second half anyway, as we get a foul called, and the St. Anthony fans don't like it.
And Brian Neal has gone down, and anytime you see a player go down like that, the first thing you think of is a knee injury. He really hit the deck hard. Look, Brian Neal right there in a lot of pain. Looks like he's holding either a knee or it could be an ankle. Let's see if we can see it right here as he's battling on the inside for the rebound. Right there is Neal. He goes up.
He turned it.
Yeah, he sure did. Turned it right there. Either that or they hit knees, but you always hate to see a player go down like that, because the first thing that comes to your mind is some kind of a knee injury. Shot goes up once again, and right there, Neal battling right there.
Yeah, the knees collided, and I think he turned a little bit as well, and he's in some pain. Bart Willenberg picked up the foul, his second. And they continue to attend as you see the expression of agony there on the face of Brian Neal, who has scored 5 points, but who has been a big factor on the boards for the Foxes, and they would miss him. This is not a deep team, as most Class A teams are not.
Neal also with 4 rebounds, so he gives him a lift in the rebound department. He also scores about 10 points per ball game. And the one thing that McLeansboro doesn't have is a whole lot of depth. And Jerry Schnickner, who hasn't been in the ball game, who had a good ball game off the bench against Waterloo Jabot, had 10 points off of the bench. And there's Brian Neal with 5 points today. But to go ahead and talk about Jerry Schnickner, they weren't sure he was going to be able to play because he's been bothered by a knee injury. He was very, very sore after the ball game against Waterloo Jabot.
Schnicker is a sophomore, 4 points a game, and he may get some playing time in this one. What about just the stop of play here? Does it hurt McLeansboro's momentum, do you think, right now, Greg?
Well, I think the momentum right now is in the way of Effingham anyway.
Well, yeah.
I think they've had the momentum here in the third quarter. They're trailing by 9 points, but I think they've been the aggressor. I think they've come out with a little fire in their eyes and done a much better job on the offense and defensive end, especially going to the glass. And you see Brian Neal there as he goes down through the tunnel. I'm sure he's going to get back in the dressing room area and have one of the trainers on staff here take a look at that knee injury.
Although St. Anthony has not been able to score, they have been playing their tempo, and they have been much tougher on the boards here in the third period. Well, it's a timeout called now with the score McLeansboro 37 and Effingham St. Anthony 28. One of your network sponsors is the Toyota Dealers of Illinois.
Ole, 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 ole. Toyota dealers are warming things up. Holding their hottest sales event ever. And Toyota's hottest year ever means more value for you. So now catch the savings on Toyota's 4Runner. Get dealer discounts, easy financing, immediate delivery. Toyota, more for your money. It's hot, hot, hot. Toyota.
It's hard to part with a good tractor, but for greater productivity, you need to trade up now. That means a new John Deere with record-setting fuel efficiency, power, and torque, with tight-turning traction, with smooth shifting performance, and a great deal. So trade in that high-hour tractor now and get the new John Deere 55 series from one of these John Deere dealers.
Good luck to all the Illinois high school basketball teams from these John Deere dealers.
The only all-suites hotel, AmeriSuites. Spacious 2-room contemporary suites and a year-round indoor pool. Call 1-800-272-8590 or 217-398-3400. AmeriSuites.
Coming out of the locker room, Brian Neal. It's not his knee, it's his left ankle, really, that is bothering him. It's the only time he's ever had an ankle injury. They're going to try and retape it. Brian should be back very soon. Back to Dick and Greg.
Well, the Bulldogs there, Joe, with an opportunity after they forced the turnover, but now they turn it over themselves, and the Foxes have it back with a 9-point lead.
Good news for Brian Neal, though. It's not a knee injury, and it's just an ankle injury. Hope to have him taped and back in the ball game here before this one's over.
He bumped the knee, but what he turned was apparently the ankle, and that is better news for him, and hopefully he'll play some more here at the Assembly Hall. McLeansboro with the ball and the lead, and Johnson delivers to Phelps, who can't make the drive from the wing. High post pass, and for the Foxes, Jerry Schnicker gets it to Phelps, who missed the shot, and the ball belongs to St. Anthony. Schnicker in there now, the 205-pound sophomore, in place of the injured Brian Neal. This is Bart Willenberg for the Bulldogs. Ryan Schultz. And coming out away from the post is Haney. They want to get it down low to Bryant. Good spin move, but the ball picked clean by Schnicker, the sophomore, who almost lost it. Jason Hansen can put it on the floor and go, and he gets it across the timeline. Still 37-28. It's been a long time since either team has scored. Here's Schnicker. Off the bench, the sophomore gets his first basket.
Nice assist, though. A good look inside by Benji Johnson. Nice little bounce pass. Nice drop step by Schnicker. Gets it up on the glass. Two-pointer. McLeansboro up now 39-28.
Equaling their biggest lead. Here's Bryant, and he made a tough shot. Did a good job to get it off, but partially blocked, and the rebound for the Foxes, and that's a great job on the boards by Tennyson, who's hounded, but gets rid of it to Phelps, and they may have an opportunity here. 3-on-1. Hansen with a great pass on the foul against Bryant. What a nice feed by Jason Hansen to Benji Johnson.
A great play, though, by Tennyson, the sophomore, to get the rebound. Nice outlet pass. Good look. Hansen right there is streaking Benji Johnson on the play as he goes up and is hammered on the play, and Johnson's going to go to the line to shoot free throws.
And that's 3 fouls, Greg, on Tony Bryant. And that, of course, a big key. 10 for 10 from the line for McLeansboro. Johnson has 6 of those, but there goes the string. And it is still an 11-point advantage for the team in the white. 3:51 here in the third period. Boy, Johnson missed them both. Almost an offensive rebound by Tennyson. Now Hansen gets it. Boy, they keep it alive on the glass. And it's Schnicker who was fouled. Great effort by the Foxes on the offensive board as their bench and their fans react.
I can't say enough or applaud the effort of Shane Tennyson on the inside. Look at Shane Tennyson keeping it alive. Tennyson 55 for McLeansboro, slaps it around. Schnicker's there. Benji Johnson's there. Loose ball on the floor. And the strong man, Schnicker, comes out, tries to go back up with a shot. He was fouled on the floor. It was not a shooting opportunity. And Tony Bryant has now picked up his 4th personal foul. And Dick, now's when you think back about the foul that Bryant picked up early in the ball game, out away from the basket.
Right, that was his first one. He's out of the game now, and boy, St. Anthony in a bit of a jam. Sometimes it's who wants it the most, and the Foxes wanted that rebound a bit more than the Bulldogs did. Inside Johnson, and they get the basket and lead by 13. McLeansboro in charge with 3.5 to go in the third.
Very alert play by McLeansboro because Bryant was the guy that was checking Benji Johnson. They went right to Johnson inside, and he delivered.
And a possible 3-point play at the other end. That's Bart Willenberg, the other honorable mention All-Stater, who may be the guy who has to step forward now. Here he is stepping into the lane and making a tough off-balance shot as he's fouled by Schnicker.
Willenberg so quick with the basketball on the dribble drive. Slips in there, finds a little seam, and nice shot of Leaner in the lane. 2-pointer for Willenberg, and now St. Anthony's back to within 11.
And that is his first basket of the game. He misses the opportunity for the 3-point play, and then a foul called on Matt Waldorf, who was the player who came in when Bryant picked up his 4th foul.
Right, McLeansboro is all over the glass, though, in the ballgame. Rebound edge definitely to McLeansboro. 30 rebounds for McLeansboro to only 11 for Effingham St. Anthony.
Well, the Bulldogs going with the pressure now as they try to come from 13 behind here. They were 13 down. Now it's back to an 11-point difference after the goal there moments ago by Bart Willenberg. Here's Hansen. And Phelps sets up Johnson at the top. This is Jason Hansen. Double team, so he lost it. And a free one coming the other way. Bart Willenberg has the opportunity. The left-hand layup cuts the lead to 9.
Good outlet pass by Christian Willenberg. That's the guy that set it all up.
Christian to cousin Bart. And the once 13-point lead is down to 9. 41-32 McLeansboro. 3 minutes to play here in the third. Opening game of the Class A state finals in Champaign. We're headed for what should be a very competitive tournament. Sophomore Schnicker gets it to Johnson. This is a layup for Tennyson, and again they break the pressure and get the easy basket.
Yeah, they broke the pressure in the front court, and Effingham left the back door open, and McLeansboro scored.
And missing is Schultz, and the Foxes all over the glass, and the Bulldogs' full court pressure is costing them right now, because the Foxes recognize how to beat it and recognize when to take it to the goal and when not to. This is Hansen. Dangerous pass, but Johnson gets to it in the lane. Hansen with a fake and a drop pass down to Tennyson, but too long in the lane. That one took a little bit too long to develop.
Yeah, they had a shot inside. A good call by the official, though. There was a 3-second call right there. Good call by the official. Another look at Kurt Reed, the the veteran coach of McLeansboro with 11 turnovers. Effingham St. Anthony with only 7.
But they can get away with that as long as they have the dominance on the boards that they do in this game. An air ball three-pointer by Christian Willenberg, but no, it was not touched by a McLeansboro player, so the Foxes get the ball back against the full court pressure. Ooh, Snicker had it batted out of bounds. The full court pressure looks good to me, Greg, but once the Foxes beat it, then Dave Bartlett's team is in trouble.
Well, they're beating all the pressure up in the front court. Once they beat that, then you have a tendency to leave that back door open. You get those 2-on-1 and 3-on-2 breaks.
Here's a 3-on-2, and Phelps with a pull-up jumper, no good. And so the Bulldogs have it back, still down by 11, 43-32. Now down to 2 minutes to play in the third period. This is Dave Willenberg. And Christian Willenberg, or excuse me, it's Bart Willenberg who fires a 3 and gets a big bucket. Bart Willenberg has scored the last 3 Effingham St. Anthony baskets, the last 7 points for his team, and he has his club back to within 8. And now the Foxes nearly throw it away. A foul called against Christian Willenberg. The Foxes were walking the edge there.
Effingham doing a better job, though, turning up the heat on the defensive end. That was a big three-pointer, a three-point basket in high school basketball. That gives you the momentum. It's like a dunk in college. People like to see that three-pointer. Class A basketball, people really live from the outside. Good look at Kurt Reed again. Some encouragement, and the fans now are alive here. It's wonderful to see all the green-clad fans out of Hamilton County from McLeansboro, Illinois, and then you see all the red for Effingham St. Anthony.
Benji Johnson makes the free throw. And he has 19 points now. That foul, by the way, on Bart Willenberg, his third. Remember, Tony Bryant is on the Effingham St. Anthony bench with 4 fouls. So the Bulldogs in some foul difficulties as both free throws make it 45-35. 10-point lead again, McLeansboro. Bulldogs had an early 4-point lead in the second period. At one point, they were up 4. But down 8 at the half, down by as many as 13, now down 10. An errant three-point try by Busher. He did get it back, an offensive rebound, a rarity for the Bulldogs, and they wind up at the line.
Good follow by Busher on the play. Shot went up from the outside. Right there by Busher. The shot's up, looks short, hits the front of the rim, and ball's on the floor. Look right there. The shooter always knows where the ball's going to be. Busher, a good foul, and he's fouled on the play, and Busher's going to go to the line to shoot free throws, his first opportunity at the strike.
And Benji Johnson, Greg, picked up the foul. That's his third. So both star players in foul difficulties, although Bryant is the one with 4 on the bench as Busher misses the opportunity to close the lead.
And Brian Neal is now back on the McLeansboro bench, so don't be surprised if you see him back in the ballgame.
Missed them both. And McLeansboro gets the rebound, and here's an easy one for Snicker on a great lob pass from Phelps, and it got through there somehow.
Oh, that rim was awful nice, too. That rim was awful friendly. Got it up there, rolled around, finally fell through.
2 baskets for the sophomore off the bench. 12 points is the lead here for the Foxes. And now away from the ball, we have a foul called against McLeansboro. Dave Bartlett wondering how his team can get back in the ball game.
Bartlett in his 6th year at Effingham St. Anthony with a record of 108 and 57.
Hansen commits the foul. And that's his first. And more free throws coming for the Bulldogs, who in the second half here have missed all 3 of their free throw tries. We're down to the final minute of the third period. 47-35. Foxes of McLeansboro lead the way as St. Anthony fans look on, hoping for a comeback. Bart Willenberg, who had some chronic back problems during the season, shoots the free throw good. This guy's a 4-year starter. He started for this club as a freshman, and this year was honorable mention All-State. He can close the gap to 10, and he did not draw iron on that throw. Dave Bartlett says, hey, Bart, you can shoot better than that.
Those count just like any other miss, though.
That's right. Snicker against the pressure, got it to the man who can beat it. Here's Benji Johnson 3 on 2, and a great pass again, and a block as Tennyson put it up there and had it rejected by Brian Schultz. What a play. Here's Schultz at the other end, and he ran over Johnson and draws the charge. Benji Johnson, after delivering the great pass that did not produce the bucket, Greg, hustles back to the defensive end.
Good play on the defensive end by Benji Johnson. Really just sacrificed his body, got in front of Brian Schultz on the dribble drive, was right there. Nice play on the defensive end by Benji Johnson right there. There's the charge, no question about it. Defensive player was set. A charging foul that time on Brian Schultz. 11-point lead for McLeansboro, 47-36 in the third period. Third quarter, 44 seconds left.
As the ball is inbounded by the Foxes against that Bulldog pressure, and Schnicker can't handle that one.
You playing on that team, Dick? They threw that pass to us. what number are you wearing on your uniform?
I tell you what, that was a little off the mark. If it's going to be to us, it's got to be right on the money here, Greg. Bulldogs have it back. This has been a third period of turnovers and some easy baskets for the Foxes against the St. Anthony full court pressure. Here's a three by Willenberg, and he's got 2 of those in a row, and he is keeping the Bulldogs in the game. Bart Willenberg with 11 third quarter points cuts the gap to 8. And the Foxes beat the pressure, and this time don't have the opportunity to go to the basket 3-on-2 or 2-on-1.
And they're going to play for that final shot of the third quarter. We're now down to 12 seconds. Look for maybe Benji Johnson just to go 1-on-1.
Johnson matched up with Busher right here, and he passes it to Phelps, who has the 14-foot off-balance shot. Good, and it's an 11-point lead. Three-quarter court shot in time, but nowhere near by Bart Willenberg. And McLeansboro heads to the huddle with a 10-point lead, 49-39. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies.
I lent my car to my brother, and he demolished it. 2 years old, didn't have a scratch. Funny, about a month before my agent had recommended this extra keeper coverage, $21 more a year. I remember thinking, well, I probably don't need it, but if you think so. Turns out, they gave me a brand new car. This year's model.
Country Companies. It's nice to know when it matters most. The country's behind you.
Guess it's just a matter of trust.
Don't attempt to adjust your dial. You've just entered the buy right zone. The prices are out of control. Brass floor lamps at $19. Inconceivable savings all around the store. 4-drawer chests for $39. Unbelievable selection is yours on quality brand name furniture. 3-piece set, sofa, love seat, and chair, $198. Your friends save, your relatives save, now you can save at the Buy Right Zone. Buy Right Furniture, Lincoln.
49-39 in favor of McLeansboro over Effingham St. Anthony. The Bulldogs have 8 minutes here, Greg, to make up the deficit.
Well, they're going to have to turn up the heat on the defensive end. Hope their press can create some turnovers. They can get some easy baskets off of it. But McLeansboro, what an excellent job running down that clock. Little down double pick. They were able to spring Roger Phelps over. Johnson delivered the pass. The tension was all on Johnson. They looked for him to take that last shot of the quarter. Phelps up over that pick, squared up, and just knocked down that two-pointer. A nice lift, a nice basket, and the play was called from the bench by the coach, Kurt Reed.
Tony Bryant did not score in the third period, partly because he spent much of it on the bench in foul trouble. He is not back, but I would think will come back soon, as Schultz has it to the right of the circle here. This is Bart Willenberg, who's been providing the offense for Effingham St. Anthony, and this time he draws the foul. He gets himself back to the free throw line.
Good drive that time by Willenberg on the play, and I'm not surprised that Coach Dave Bartlett's left Brian on there. I think he's going to let him set for a couple minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes here in the last quarter. Hope his ball club can maintain, maybe cut back into that lead, maybe get it down to within 6, and then look for Brian to come into the ball game. But that has to be what's going through the mind right now of head coach Dave Bartlett. When do I get my star in there? When does Brian enter the ball game?
Bart Willenberg has his 12th point of this second half, and the lead is down to 9. That foul on Jerry Schnicker, his second, and the throw no good, and that's a nice rebound by Jason Hansen. And Effingham St. Anthony continues to struggle from the line. They'd be in better shape here if they'd done better at the stripe in the second half. Foxes with the 9-point lead now, and the basketball. Hansen back to Tennyson, who looks from the high post, can't get it inside to Benji Johnson. Schnicker, the sophomore, in there for the injured Brian Neal, who, as Greg said, is back on the bench. Spinning move, Benji Johnson to Schnicker, who almost lost it. Here's Benji Johnson up top. McLeansboro with a good pattern offense, and that can help them here with the lead. As Johnson lost control, a battle and a scramble and a held ball. And it'll be McLeansboro's turn as the Bulldogs just started the second half with the ball, or the fourth period with the ball.
Good defensive effort, though, by the Bulldogs of Effingham St. Anthony, really getting out after the basketball.
Back into the game comes Tony Bryant right here with 7:09 to go. He's sitting on 4 fouls as he tries to bring the Bulldogs back.
Turnover to McLeansboro with 12. Effingham St. Anthony with 8.
As Jason Hansen has it at the top. Benji Johnson backing in. And a good pass into Tennyson. A shot fake and a basket.
Oh, this guy's tough for a sophomore inside. Great body control, good look inside. Shane Tennyson delivers the 2-pointer.
And an 11-point lead, and a quick shot by Schultz, maybe too quick, but the rebound for Busher. Big rebound basket for Pete Busher, puts the lead back to 9.
Well, nobody on McLeansboro's team put a body on anybody on that play. Busher just slipped in and got the 2-pointer.
And Bart Willenberg has just picked up his 4th foul, going for the steal from behind against Benji Johnson. So, the 2 top players for the Bulldogs, both with 4 fouls. And that'll get Willenberg for the moment out of the game. Well, no, he's just going over to talk to Bartlett, the head coach for the Bulldogs. He's staying on. Well, now we're told that it's just 3 fouls against Willenberg, as the free throw here is good by Benji Johnson. So Willenberg on at 3 fouls. The lead now 10 after Benji Johnson's free throw. And now 11, and that's 22 for Benji Johnson in the ball game. 53-42 the score. Here's Tony Bryant to Bart Willenberg. Sees the seam and gets through it beautifully. Nice drive by Willenberg.
No weak side help there at all.
And the lead down to 9. And McLeansboro in some trouble, but Johnson gets out of the trap. And this is Phelps in the front court delivering back to Benji Johnson of the Foxes, who had the 9-point lead with 6 minutes to play. Phelps up top. Bulldogs man-to-man all game. In fact, both of these teams have played strictly man defense. Hansen, great steal by Willenberg. Loose ball, and Bryant has it. And it's a 3-on-1. Tony Bryant, nice pass to Busher. Layup too strong, but that's Bryant who missed it. He got it blocked from behind. It still belongs to the Bulldogs, but St. Anthony missed a great chance there.
Oh, golden opportunity. They just let it slip away. Bryant delivers the pass, little shovel pass, underhand pass to Busher, and Busher just throws it up too hard on the glass. Right there, possibly a foul on Bryant, as Schnicker came maybe over the back of Bryant. The call wasn't there. Bulldogs with the basketball.
Well, Willenberg is doing it inside, but not high enough off the glass there, and now a foul on the rebound effort by the Foxes. St. Anthony getting back on the boards.
I believe the foul is going to go against the sophomore Shane Tennyson, and for Tennyson, his 3rd personal foul.
And for the team, that's number 7. So in this instance, it's a 1-on-1, but on the next foul, it's 2 shots.
Both coaches really working over on those sidelines. Both these guys animated over on the sidelines. Kurt Reed very animated. Also Dave Bartlett really working the bench.
Bart Willenberg missed the throw, but it's knocked out by McLeansboro. And St. Anthony has another chance here to cut into the 9-point lead. Willenberg is 3 out of 8 from the line, as he will try to put it in play. He finds Busher. Here's the drive by Schultz. Nice finger roll, but too hard, and the follow, no, and boy, St. Anthony has missed some easy shots, as that time it was Waldorf who missed the rebound opportunity, and it's still a 9-point lead, Foxes. Boy, that isn't easy for Dave Bartlett to watch. Those missed layups, and there have been plenty of them for St. Anthony. Phelps has it here for McLeansboro. And this is Benji Johnson, the game's number 1 scorer. Uses the screen, but doesn't go to the basket. The Foxes showing patience, and they should, of course, with a 9-point lead.
Yeah, it's a tough basketball team to play catch up against, because if you found McLeansboro, they've been deadly at that line. On the year, they shoot 71%. I'm not surprised at all. McLeansboro's really taking some time off the clock. We're down under 5 minutes now in the ballgame.
Wide open baseline jumper, but Hansen missed it. And the Bulldogs, down 9, come back the other way after the rebound by Waldorf. Schultz at the baseline, tried to move on Johnson, and a blocking foul called. No, are they going the other way? Yes, they are. Brian Schultz is called for the charge. His 3rd, and a tough call. Let's watch it here.
Tries to beat Johnson on the baseline right there, but Johnson gets there, Oh, questionable call right there.
Yeah, I thought it was going the other way, but it goes McLeansboro's way. That's the way this one's gone so far as we have a timeout. 53-44. One of your network sponsors is the Toyota Dealers of Illinois.
The Toyota dealers are doing it.
Toyota's hot, 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 hot.
Holding their hottest sales event ever.
Toyota's hot, hot, hot. So low.
With savings on Seneca, Toyota's hot new sports car with big option savings. And check out the exciting MR2. Dealer discounts immediate delivery.
Toyota's hot, hot, hot.
Toyota, more for your money. It's hot, hot, hot.
Toyota.
The dream of every high school basketball player, the IHSA Championships at the Assembly Hall in Champaign. For 28 years, the Assembly Hall has been proud to host these exciting tournaments. The Champaign County Chamber of Commerce, Champaign-Urbana Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Economic Development Corporation welcome the participants and their supporters. A special appreciation to McDonald's, the CU Hotel Association, Busey Bank, Carl Hospital, and Hilliard Lions for their support of the IHSA Pack the Place promotion. Good luck to all the participants, and may your dreams become reality.
The most famous alumni of McLeansboro High School doesn't get a chance to see very often. Jerry Sloan, the current head coach of the NBA Utah Jazz, though, is in Chicago today as they play the Bulls tonight in Chicago Stadium. So I wouldn't be surprised if right
All right, Joe. Jerry Sloan, of course, grew up in McLeansboro, played for McLeansboro. His son played for that state championship team in '84.
And Jerry Sloan, now the coach of the Utah Jazz, and the only player in Chicago Bulls history to have his jersey retired.
Here's the drive by Johnson, who lost the ball and double dribbled. And so the Bulldogs of St. Anthony down 9. Get another opportunity here with 4:26 left.
You think there's a chance, though, they might raise Michael's jersey up there someday? There's always a chance, isn't there?
Well, for now, Jerry has the honor. We'll see how long it lasts. It is a temporary honor for sure. Here's the shot by Bryant. Forced it up and still hasn't scored here in the second half. And the Foxes with the rebound. And time is on their side as Phelps gets it across the stripe. Johnson had the opportunity to take the 3, but he's a smart player. He's not going to do it in this situation. Bryant almost stole it from Jason Hansen, but it belongs to the Foxes.
It even looks like the Effingham's players maybe showing a few signs of fatigue, playing on the big floor. You see some of the players out there pulling on their trunks a little bit. That's a sure sign that you're starting to run out of gas.
And a foul here against Pete Busher. They're going to send Benji Johnson to the line, and he's not the right guy to send to the stripe.
No, he's not. He shoots 82% from the line, and Benji Johnson in today's ball game is 10 of 12.
We look there at the Bulldog player off the bench, Matt Waldorf, who has a scar on the knee. The free throw good by Johnson, who elevates the lead to 10. Well, he not only is a proficient free thrower as he puts another one down, but he has the ability to get to the line. That's 14 attempts in this game. And if you don't get to the line, it doesn't matter how good a free thrower you are. He has both things going for him. Bulldogs down a dozen as Busher gets it to the corner. Busher has a 3 off the pass from Willenberg, but that's going nowhere. And Jason Hansen had the rebound and then was tied up by Willenberg. And the arrow points St. Anthony's way. Bart Willenberg is playing hard. He wants to get back in this thing.
Oh, these guys play hard. That's a characteristic of a ball club that's coached by Dave Bartlett. They play hard. They're going to fight you to the end.
Haney to Bryant, who had it swiped by Benji Johnson. Phelps is with him, and Johnson was fouled. And Benji Johnson, who, as I just mentioned, has been to the line 14 times already, will get a couple more opportunities here as McLeansboro tries to build the lead from 11.
Another good look there at the coach of McLeansboro, Kurt Reed. Not relaxing over there yet, is it?
It's too early to do that. 16 for 18, now 17 out of 19 free throws for McLeansboro. That's just barely under 80%, or barely under 90%. That one is missed.
Well, you did it again, didn't you? Put the jinx on him.
Well, it may not matter now. 56-44, 12-point lead for the Foxes. Busher to Bart Willenberg. He forced it up there and would not roll in for him. And now a great effort by Bryant, but the ball comes loose to Schnicker, and here's an easy one for the sophomore. Oh, my. Well, tip no good, and St. Anthony with a rebound. And if the Foxes lose this by 2, Jerry Schnicker will have a hard time sleeping tonight. Here's a 3, and it's missed from the corner by Busher. Great battle on the board. Schultz wouldn't get the roll, and somebody take the lid off these baskets. A steal, and Busher scores the goal. Well, the lead down to 10, but the time is down to 2:39. As Phelps has it at three-quarter court, and the Fox is able to get it down to the baseline. Tennyson to Hansen, and the Foxes will play keep away now with 2.5 minutes left, and they lead by 10. They've extended the offense, and they're pretty good at this game, Greg. They're going to run a little delay game. They really don't need any points, and what's going to happen is Effingham's going to have to foul, and that's the case right there, as Hansen was fouled on the play. And so we're going to see a lot of free throw shot here in the final 2:15. But once again, McLeansboro excellent from the charity stripe. On the year, they shoot 71%. So McLeansboro has been deadly from the line on the year and also in this ballgame. They're 17 of 20 from the free throw line. And to win big games, you got to make big free throws. McLeansboro's done just that here today. Hansen gets that one, and the other difference here from a year ago, Greg, is the new rule. 2 free throws for the rest of the game now for the Foxes. That really takes the pressure off when you don't have to make the front end to get the second. With 2 free throws for Jason Hansen makes it a 12-point lead. St. Anthony needs to score and then needs to play defense and hope for some missed free throws. A 3 by Christian Willenberg is nowhere near. And the Foxes outlet it. Johnson to Hansen. Here's Phelps down low. Tennyson, and he got tangled up but still scored the basket. Biggest lead of the game with 1:51 left. It's 60-46. The 3 missed by Bryant, who still hasn't scored a point here in the second half. This is Busher, and the rebound and the outlet to Schnicker, and he puts on the brakes this time. He missed the layup last time, so he thought he'd let somebody else do it. We've got a foul, and with 1:35 to go, the McLeansboro Foxes in control now with a 60-46 lead. Dave Bartlett, as you see, wants a timeout, but it may be too late for the Bulldogs of Effingham St. Anthony. 1:35 left, and McLeansboro surviving a good second half effort by the Bulldogs. They came out with a full court pressure. They increased the tempo of the game. Things were going their way. They were going to the glass early in the half, Greg, but they weren't making the shots. They missed a lot of easy shots at that juncture. I agree with you, Dick, completely, but Tony Bryant really hadn't been a factor here in the second half. They've completely shut off Tony Bryant. Tony Bryant, their leading scorer, hasn't scored here in the second half. Hey, I believe our man Joe Passion has something for us. Joe?
A little historical background about St. Anthony's. You may remember back in 1970, St. Anthony's, this small school, lost to the big school of LaGrange Lions here in the semifinal on this floor 12 years ago by just 1 point. It added to the argument at that time that there indeed was a legitimate reason to have 2 separate classes. That was just one of the straws that broke the back of the one-class basketball system in Illinois. But I think as games like this show, the Class A system has sure added a lot to IHSA basketball tournament action. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Joe. 25 points in the game now for Benji Johnson. And his McLeansboro Foxes are up 60-46 and apparently are headed for tomorrow's semifinals.
Well, Johnson spent a lot of time at the free throw line. He's 13 of 16 from the line and 6 of 10 from field goals. But the ball game was really decided where McLeansboro got the upper hand was in that first half when they had that big rebound edge, 23-4 rebound edge in the first half. Second half rebounds, McLeansboro 19, but Effingham with 21. So they've turned the tables a little bit here in the second half, but the big edge was in the first half.
And the free throw here for Shane Tennyson builds the lead to 15, the biggest of the game. Next up, Orangeville and Seneca, as the free throw miss keeps the score where it is. And a steal again by the Foxes. This is Phelps. Outside it goes to Hansen, and now Phelps delivers to Johnson. And again, the Foxes moving the ball quickly, trying to avoid the foul, but it'll be Tennyson who goes back to the line as he is hammered by Jason Brian Schultz.
Gives us a little time to talk about the play of the sophomore Shane Tennyson. You talk about Benji Johnson. He scores all their points, but I really like the way this guy's played. There you also get a look at the bench of Effingham St. Anthony, and you can just tell by the expressions on their face how this ball game's going, can't you?
They're not happy. This is a bitter pill to swallow, but they'll look back on this occasion later in their lives with a lot of fondness. Both free throws made by Tennyson. The lead is up to 17 now, and we're a little bit more than a minute to go as Willenberg's three. That's Bart Willenberg missing it, and we've got another whistle on the rebound effort. And again, the foul is against the Bulldogs. It'll be Benji Johnson headed back to the free throw line.
I think that personal foul is going to be on Tony Bryant. It's going to be his 5th personal foul, and Bryant's going to leave with 17 points, and all 17 of those points came in the first half. He was 6 of 17 from the floor, had 3 3-point field goals, so he leaves with 17 points. All of them came in the first half.
Final game of Tony Bryant's high school career, and it's certainly not the way he envisioned it happening. As you can see, the posture of disappointment there on the part of Tony Bryant, who gets a slap on the backside from Dave Bartlett and sits down on the bench for the final time. Into the game for him, you see there, Matt Waldoff, as the free throw is good by Benji Johnson, who keeps racking up the points. He's 14 for 17 now from the line. Kurt Reed looks on as his star player Benji Johnson hits another throw. 27 for Johnson, and a 19-point lead for the Foxes, as the three by Schultz is missed and Schnicker is fouled, and we're kind of stuck on replay here. The same scenario every time. A missed three and a foul and free throws for the Foxes. Bart Willenberg is fouled out of the game. I think he did have 4 previously. That's his 5th, and he's the 2nd player to foul out. Previously, that's his 5th, and he's the 2nd player to foul out. The Class A record, by the way, for free throws in a game, 19. Dave Johnson for Oneida Rolla against Lawrenceville 15 years ago in the semifinals. Benji Johnson is 4 away from that with as many fouls as we are likely to have here in the final minute. He's a threat to break that mark.
That free throw right there by Jerry Schnicker was easier than that 2-pointer that you anticipated that he was going to make.
Well, I did so.
He anticipated it also.
I did so because I think you could have made that one, Greg, and if you could do it, surely he could. A fired-up shot by Chris Poe just into the game for St. Anthony. He replaced Willenberg, who fouled out, and at the other end, another easy one for Benji Johnson.
Good look by Roger Phelps that time. A nice pass that time to Johnson for the 2-pointer. Johnson now with 29 points.
Christian Willenberg misses the 3, and that's the extent of the Bulldog offense now is 3s. Benji Johnson at the other end.
Oh, McLeansboro's having fun now.
Well, the final score will not reflect the competitiveness of this game. It's now 70-46 McLeansboro. We're down to the final half minute of play here in the opening contest. Drive to the hole by Schultz. Nice finger roll basket going through the lane, and down go a couple of McLeansboro players with 22 seconds left. Looks like they're okay, and hopefully that is the case, because they'll be playing basketball tomorrow in the first of the semifinal games at 11:15 against either Orangeville or Seneca. Boy, Benji Johnson with the big scoring performance, and now he will be leaving the game along with most of the other starters as the benches will empty here. And for the final 22 seconds,
Johnson's going to leave with 31 points and 15 at the stripe, 8 of 12 field goal shooting. So a very happy and McLeansboro basketball team. They're enjoying a 70-48 lead with 21 seconds left.
This is Chris Hart, who will put the ball in play. Also in for the Foxes, Jamie Brzezinski. He gets it there. Jason Anselment in for McLeansboro as well. Here is Hart with the basketball across the timeline. It's Anselment with the basket. 10 seconds to play. The Bulldogs now have it into the hands of Chris Poe as he shoots it off balance and misses. Jason Kortke gets the basket, and that's a big thrill for each of those guys. Kortke and Anselman, who score for each team at the end of the game as this one comes to a close. McLeansboro 72, Effingham St. Anthony 50, and it's the Foxes who won the state championship 7 years ago, who keep that dream alive here in 1991. They play tomorrow against the winner of our next game. They'll take on either Orangeville or Seneca for the right to go to the championship game. The Foxes with great rebounding early, and then they survived a little bit of a spurt by Effingham St. Anthony and pulled away at the end.
Well, the rebounding in the first half, that big 23-4 edge, and they were also perfect from the stripe in the first half. And I thought also a big basket at the end of the third quarter when they were able to spring Roger Phelps off over that down double pick. He knocked down that two-pointer, and really in the second half, it was all McLeansboro. They did an excellent job throughout the ball game handling the pressure defense of Effingham St. Anthony. And when you've got a go-to guy like Benji Johnson of McLeansboro, he gets 31 points. But also, I think you got to credit the defense of McLeansboro also on Tony Bryant. He gets 17 points in the first half, does not mark in the second half. So for McLeansboro, it's a big win. They knock off Effingham St. Anthony by the score of 72-70, and they're going to be playing tomorrow.
Tony Bryant did miss quite a bit of the second half because of his foul difficulties, but I think your point about the defense is good, because really McLeansboro had made its move before Bryant picked up that fourth foul and went out of the ball game.
Well, defensively, McLeansboro is awful tough. They can really get it done on the defensive end. They're a defensive-minded basketball team, and about the time you think they're going to play control basketball, ball control on the half court, how'd they open the basketball game, Dick? They got some easy transitions. Jason Hansen got them on the board first, a nice easy basket, a quick basket, and from that point on, the tempo, it wasn't really that slow pace like we looked for McLeansboro to play. And as Kurt Reed, their coach, indicated to both of us, they'll play on the offensive end, and they'll take what the defensive gives. They did just that here in the victory over Effingham, 72-70.
Well, Kurt Reed's McLeansboro Foxes move on here at the Class A state tournament. Let's go to Joe Passion, who is with the winning coach.
All right, thanks very much, Dick and Greg. Win number 24 is a sweet one for Kurt Reed and Roger Phelps, and for Johnson, because these guys really put it all together. That second half seemed to go the way you wanted it to.
We thought we had the cobwebs pulled out the first half. We knew if we indeed did have, and they kept the pressure on like they did, as I said before the game, we would take what they gave us. So we scored a lot of points, which is unlike us, but as I said before the game, we will take what the defense gives us. And they came out and still continue to put the heat on, and with Benji Johnson and Roger Phelps handling the ball, especially Benji in the middle, I mean, he can handle the ball, pass the ball, and do a lot of things with the ball, and indeed, that's what he did do.
Well, what was interesting, too, is you had people like Roger Phelps doing a lot without the ball. It seemed like every time that Anthony's made a run for you guys, you ran away from them.
Yeah, well, whenever they first started, whenever they said that Bart guy was on me, they said give it to a different guy to bring it down the floor, because he puts the pressure on the guy bringing it down the floor, and he averages 3.2 steals a game. So they said give it off and let someone else bring it down the floor with a bigger guy on him. And that's all we had to do.
You did that very effectively. Benji finished with 31 points tonight. Seemed like you two were also looking to pass it and work the clock toward the end when you had the lead of 11 at one point.
Yeah, we didn't want to stop the clock. If we kept the ball, they were probably going to foul us or maybe get a steal. So we get to keep the ball moving, keep the clock running, and get the game over quicker.
All right, well, Coach, I know that your old buddy, Jerry Sloan, may be in Chicago right now watching his old Foxes here. The tradition marches on. How good do you feel about the team, its physical condition going into the semifinal game tomorrow?
Well, we're not really sure about Brian Neal right now. He did sprain his ankle. He sprained his other one earlier in the season. He sprained his other one. Don't know how serious it is. Hopefully it's not too bad, and he'll be ready to go tomorrow. Hopefully so. Good luck tonight up in Chicago, Jerry. I know the Bulls are looking for win number 1,000, I think, and it's going to have to be against one of my better buddies, my best buddy, Jerry Sloan, and I hope it doesn't happen. I hope you have the same success that we did.
Well, you know, we know Sloan's number is hanging from the rafters of Chicago Stadium. Is it at McLeansboro?
No, his is not hanging from the rafters, but his jersey is retired at McLeansboro High School, yes.
I'll tell you what, the jerseys look real good on you guys today. Did a great job out there. Congratulations. We'll see you in the semis.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks very much, Kurt, Roger, and Benji. Big game and a big win for McLeansboro. Now let's send it back over to Dick.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. McLeansboro moves on. They win it 72-50 over Effingham St. Anthony. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies.
When my dad died, it was a shock going through all this stuff. I mean, I'm sure he knew what everything was, but to me, it was complete chaos. At least for all our insurance, he dealt with one agent who took care of everything.
Country Companies. It's nice to know when it matters most, the country's behind you.
I guess we're all gonna die sometime. My dad just didn't think it would be so soon.
Illinois Championship High School Basketball is brought to you on Fox 55 and 27 by American Family Insurance. All your family protection under one roof.
This unsuspecting babysitter thinks she's calling the family dog. What she doesn't know is that she's on totally hidden video.
Saturday night at 7 on Fox 55 and 27.
Well, the Broncos of Orangeville and the Fighting Irish of Seneca have taken the floor. They play in our second quarterfinal round game. The winner gets McLeansboro. An impressive victory for the Foxes, Greg. 72-50 for McLeansboro.
Well, it was a nice win for him. It was a very happy Kurt Reed. He's wishing his old buddy up in Chicago, Jerry Sloan, a little luck tonight against the Chicago Bulls. But here today, it was all McLeansboro. Benji Johnson led the way with 31 points. And felt like McLeansboro really handled the defensive pressure of Effingham very well. Had the big edge in the first half on the glass. 23-4 on the boards in the first half. Got them off to a great start in the basketball game. It's a big win for McLeansboro. I like the way they played on the offense and the defensive end. A good look here at Brian Neal. This starts the second half. Three-point range. Brian Neal drains the three-pointer on that particular play. After that shot, McLeansboro up by 11, 37-26. Back the other way, Bart Willenberg from outside. Boom, bottom of the net. Willenberg gets a nice three-pointer there.
A lot of missed layups for St. Anthony as they create the opportunity here with the good defense. And down the floor comes Bryant. He's going to get it to Busher, who misses a big opportunity. And that was one of the stories of this game. Missed opportunities for St. Anthony, particularly in the second half.
Very frustrating play right there for St. Anthony. A nice lob, a good look on the inside. Look at the sophomore, Tennyson. He's a battler. He's a worker. He gets it up on the glass, gets the two-pointer right there off the pass from Roger Phelps.
That made it a 14-point McLeansboro lead. Here's Benji Johnson getting the long pass and the easy layup, and there were plenty of those against the full court pressure. Once McLeansboro was able to break down the pressure, then there were easy shots at the other end.
Well, for McLeansboro, they shoot 50% from the floor, 30% for Effingham St. Anthony. Free throw department, McLeansboro 25 of 30, big edge there, 5 of 12 for Effingham. Rebounds 44-28. Turnovers, McLeansboro with 15. Effingham St. Anthony, big edges in the free throw department, 25 of 30 from the line for McLeansboro.
Well, when you make free throws at that kind of ratio and you dominate on the boards to that extent as they did in the first half, that's just too much to overcome, Greg.
Well, Effingham St. Anthony, that's what kept them out of the ballgame, especially in the first half. McLeansboro knocked down 10 of 10 at the line in the first half. This ball game was all McLeansboro. Tip your hat. The Foxes were tough on the offense and the defensive end. They advanced to play tomorrow. A big win for McLeansboro, 72-50.
And they'll play either Orangeville or Seneca coming up next here in this Class A state basketball tournament. One of your network sponsors is the American Dairy Associations of Illinois and Wisconsin.